You work so hard. You show up every day. You do what's expected of you. But deep down, you know the truth. One paycheck shouldn't decide how your life turns out. But what if your evenings meant progress? What if your weekends built freedom? What if your laptop became more than just a screen? This isn't about quitting your job. It's about giving yourself options. While others scroll, you start building. Quietly, consistently, and on your own terms. No pressure, no guessing. Just a clear system you can run after work, before work, or whenever life gives you a turn. That's what Goldmine on hustlesafrica.com is for.
Tuesday.
Haikuzo makasi ni watafute uongozi pamoja wasitafute.
Kweli una maana gani? Una maana wewe ni binadamu ya mavi ya kuku.
Mashamba yetu harambe.
Nguruwe kujikanga na mafuta yake na Afrika itakwisha.
Padani agosho ngai no mwega naende shode.
Wakati hiyo ilikuwa ukisema ngwe ndani ngwe.
So if the first vote was supposed to be on Tuesday, after Tuesday, William Ruto becomes a temporary president. That is under Article 134. It is very clearly stated what he can and cannot do. And some of those things I mentioned. He cannot appoint anybody. He can't appoint an ambassador. He can't appoint a judge. He cannot appoint a cabinet secretary or fire them. He can't appoint or fire any state officer. Even the IG cannot be removed. Nobody, no PS. Na kifanya hiyo, they rush to court. And there are various things you can and you cannot do. Article 134 is very clear. So do not pretend to us you can make any decisions on our behalf anymore. You cannot. You cannot pretend to have a national dialogue. You have no legitimacy, William Ruto. You cannot even fire a minister after that day. Appoint a new officer after that day. We shall challenge you. Your time is up, and it was up a long time ago. And you keep being reminded, you refuse to listen. This is a great day for Kenyans. Let us celebrate. Wakati sasa umefika ya Ruto kwenda nyumbani. Asanteni sana. Say William Ruto, your time is up. On Tuesday, you become nothing more than a president that has been given mandate by a court because of logistical issues, nothing else. Your term is over as of Tuesday. You are now then just given a template by a court. Your term has not been extended. That means if we were to read the Constitution, Article 134 describes a temporary president for such a circumstance. This is a great day for the Constitution of Kenya, and we as Safina Party want to give.
And that conversation was that a reading of our Constitution requires that we hold our presidential and general elections in the 5th year, in August, second Tuesday of August in the 5th year. And today, the High Court of Kenya sitting in Malindi has affirmed that decision. This journey did not just start today. We went through a public discourse where we explained to the Kenyan people, including the IEBC, what the Constitution provides as to when presidential elections are supposed to be held. We also did draw a parallel comparison with the 2017 general elections, which were held on the second Tuesday of August in the 5th year. After this public conversation and civic education, we did file a suit in court in May 2025 before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of Kenya took time to hear our application, to admit the petition, and they did come back to us and said, we don't need any permission to file a case before them, and we decided to file the case before the High Court in Malindi. The High Court in Malindi, we went on October 2025. It was over 1 year. And this interpretation of the law, the public discussion on it, the filing of the suits, gave IEBC adequate notice and invited them to interpret the Constitution and apply the law as it is, which law, when faithfully applied, the presidential elections must be held this year on the 11th of August 2026. And that is what the court has today affirmed as the position. IEBC had erroneously moved on the premise that a president is elected to serve for 5 years, for a 5-year term. And that...
Hello, people of the internet. My name is not Jagero. My name is Tricia Wayua, and I'll be keeping you company from right now all the way to sometime there. That is 10 p.m. And of course, I am joined by several guests in the studio. We have Odhiambo, Brian. We also have Joachim. Why are you leaving? We also have Joachim. We also have John Mbuthia. We also have Ruth Bolo in the studio. So we want to look at pertinent issues that are affecting our country right now. And we have this one big issue, and it's about the election date. So there is what the Constitution says, and there is now what we Kenyans want to do, that is in 2027, while the Constitution talks about the 2026. Today there was a court ruling that has thrown Kenya's political calendar into fresh uncertainty. Yeah, we are asking, is it 2026 or it is 2027? So that is the main question that we seek to answer tonight in this debate. But of course, we also have some political temperatures that have happened this week. We are talking about some changes that have been done in the Wiper political party. Yeah, so I would want to hear what are your takes on around that issue of the changes. Are these changes going to make Kalonzo Musyoka the president come 2027? Is it 2027 or 2026? Yeah, those are some of the things that we're going to talk about. So going to start with Brian Odhiambo. Brian, how has your week been?
Not bad, but it can be better.
It can be better. Mm-hmm. What's lacking?
Money.
Money, and so you keep on saying that the economy is doing quite well.
Well, that's a separate discussion.
Okay. Yeah, we also have Ruth here. How has your week been?
My week has been great. Now it is concerning, because if I hear people like Odhiambo saying they don't have money and they are the government, when we see them, we see government.
No, I'm not in government.
I start to be concerned.
I'm not in government.
You're already worried.
But other than that, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yes, you also have Buthia. Karibu sana.
Asante. And yeah, my week has been good, and the day has also been tough. We were in a political function. That's why I've come late, and I'm sorry.
Kirigiti.
Yeah. Kirigiti and generally Kiambu, Kirigiti and Kiambu town.
Oh, okay. Yeah, your boss is really overworking, especially in those areas of.
He's a serious presidential candidate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, producer, you can play for us that clip around those changes in Wiper.
Has told Kenyans that the Commission cannot hold elections in the current environment. I ask Ethicon plainly, what does the law actually say? The Constitution fixes the date of the 2027 general election. The Elections Act under Section 55B gives the Commission narrow specific power to defer voting not the whole election, but particular polling stations, particular wards or constituencies, not only where there is a real and immediate threat of a breach of peace, a natural disaster.
I will be serving as the chairman of the party that is producing the 6th President of the Republic of Kenya. Our work is well cut out. Starting immediately, we will be moving literally to almost all the counties that we have in this country. We are going to ensure that Wiper Patriotic Front is in all wards, in all constituencies, and in all counties of the Republic of Kenya.
Wow. So the question is, do you think these the new appointments that the Wiper Patriotic Front leader has done are going to bring a change? Because most of the time, by the way, people have been complaining that Kalonzo has just been there. Yeah, and of course, some people say it's because of the people that are surrounding him, which is the leadership of the party. So I don't know, what is your take around that?
I think it's quite a strategic move. It will help him get deeper into regions beyond his Ukambani stronghold. I know he's had some little presence in the coast and a couple of other areas as well. But this new move really helps him get deeper into those areas. So we are most likely to see Wiper get more members of county assemblies, more members of parliament. But as to whether or not that pushes him further into being the next president, I would not. It would be too soon to say. But I don't see any a radical heavyweight that would push him there. These things go beyond who you have around you, but I strongly feel that move will get him more representation in parliament and across various county assemblies. I think it was a wise and very strategic move.
Wow. Okay. Buthia?
Actually, it was time overdue.
Yes.
Because I thought, actually, what I expected was for Ndegwa Njiru to be appointed as the Secretary General of Wiper and not the spokesperson.
Why?
Because for far too long, Wiper has not had a Secretary General, and if you think they have had one, then you can tell me who he or she is. But now giving Ndegwa as the spokesperson, I don't know why Kalonzo Musyoka is fearing maybe to remove the current Secretary General who is there. Why would you circumvent and give Ndegwa Njiru as the spokesperson instead of being the Secretary General? He deserves to be the Secretary General of Wiper. And if he becomes the SG of Wiper, then Wiper now becomes a good political party. But in the meantime, the current Secretary General who is there does not give the vibes at all.
Is it about the vibes, or is it anyway?
You see,
yes.
It's giving the political party a positive vibe, the vibration that we want to see. Like, for example, just trying to compare, and I'm not saying the one we have had was not doing very well, but if you look at the current Secretary General designate of DCP, has brought some nice vibes into the party, and and the parties. He has even brought a member of parliament from Olkalau constituency. He single-handedly campaigned for the member of parliament for Olkalau. You see, a secretary general in a political party really helps to ensure that the party is active. But at the moment, the current secretary general of Wiper doesn't give the party that positive vibe. But for as at the moment, I didn't even know the deputy party leader of Wiper until Mohammed Ali was appointed today. So I believe now moving forward, the two gentlemen will bring positive and good vibes into the party and ensure that the party moves to the next level. Yeah.
Okay. Let's also hear, before we come back now for some questions. Let's also hear from Odhiambo.
With regards to these party appointments.
Yes. Are we going to see a rebirth of Wiper party?
Wow. Balaam flagged a dead donkey. What was that? Somewhere around a bend somewhere.
Yes.
Wiper is dead for me.
What do you mean?
It becomes a village juice meant for villagers to drink and celebrate. It gives birth to village champions. Most of these parties are just going to be village parties and very tribal parties. And of course, unfortunately, that's where we are, because Kenyan parties are not solid in ideology. They're very solid in hero worshipping of the big men that come from or that form those parties. So I don't feel, maybe because I am not local in Ukambani, I don't feel the power. I don't feel the power of Wiper. So if their changes are going to affect the national politics, I'll feel it. At this moment, I don't feel it. That is me. I am not saying I'm the yardstick of Kenyan politics, but I'm just saying if it will shift, I would feel it. It's not even a tremor. It's a housekeeping thing. Uko ushago, uko mbali.
Sasa ushago, why? And we have Kalonzo. I've seen people fronting him to be the presidential flag bearer of the united opposition.
Well, he will be, of course, if they want to. I don't think if Gachagua can be working so hard just to hand over power to some person who is sitting somewhere. I don't see that happening. But if it happens, it will be a great sacrifice that Gachagua will have done for the united opposition. But I've always said, if I were Gachagua, I would not leave it for anybody. I just go and contest, because anyway, he has about 8 million votes, according to him. 8 million. You only need about 2, and you are safe in 2027. So why would they hand over power to Kalonzo? For what reason? Kalonzo's changes make no sense to me. Zero.
Okay, Bolo, I see you want to respond.
And to just react a little bit to something that Mbudia said, it would be a miss of me to sit here and see him wash away the 2 secretary generals that have been in Wiper, who are women. We had Shakil Abdallah.
Yes.
We had Judith Sijenyi, who was also once an SG of Wiper. It's very rare to see a lot of these political parties give such key positions to women. And so for me, when we see women be given such positions, I don't think it should be one of the things that we just wish away. I don't think so. So
now the question is, it's good that the party is giving women the opportunity,
but
right?
Before that, there's something he also said about their current SG bringing in a new member of parliament. And if that is the measure, then I can say then DCP has a very long way to go. Because it is like celebrating if Wanga wins a seat in Homa Bay. It is, if anything, we would be concerned if he doesn't get that seat. It is almost automatic that you know the inroads of that particular area. So if that is the benchmark that you are using to weigh and measure whether the party then is progressing or is up to it, then there is a problem. Had you gone into an area or a county that is historically a difficult county for you, and you then, as DCP, are able to clench that seat, then it would be hats off to them. But yes, Trisha, you had a question for me.
Oh yeah, I was saying that we like it and we love it that the Wiper Party, of course, has given women opportunities to lead in that position, like the SecGen. But this seat is usually a very critical seat in any political party. So I understand when Buthe is talking about we cannot feel the weight of that, even the current SecGen, because most of the time, look at Sifuna, the former SecGen of ODM. Look at the current, now the one is talking about the DCP. There are people who are, like, they are outgoing. There are people who are out there to sell the party. We can feel them on the ground. I don't know, Odhiambo, do you need to add anything on that?
No, I don't feel.
Or are you contradicting what I'm saying?
No. These parties are small things. Let's move on to bigger things. This was a village championships. DCP is doing village champion work in central Kenya. The other one is doing village champion work in Ukambani. Let's go to national.
All political parties are tribal, and they are
and they have vernacular radio stations which can articulately talk about the
as well as all of them. Which one does it have?
Let them go to those radio
stations.
Which
one does it have?
I don't
all political
know.
parties have their own strongholds, and they are basically tribal.
What I don't feel
is
that we want to discuss parties which have no ideologies. What's the ideology of DCP, for example?
We have the communications. Yes.
Oh, good. What is the ideology of DCP?
You see, you cannot be the interviewer and the interviewer at the same time.
No, I'm a co-host in this program. If you don't know, be informed. I'm a co-host.
But you
should have told us. I'm a co-host. Early enough. So you see, all political parties are tribal. He may not agree with me because of his own personal reasons. But if I may not know also which party he comes from. But you see, giving an example of ODM, it was founded by Raila Odinga, coming from Nyanza region. Jubilee Party was founded by, TNA was founded by Uhuru Kenyatta, coming from Central, and William Ruto, they emerged, coming from Rift Valley. So he cannot bury his head in the sand like the proverbial ostrich to say that we are talking about village parties.
But
DCP,
but the two parties you mentioned have ideologies. One is a liberal.
We are not talking about political ideologies here. If you are discussing about political ideologies, you would have asked that question.
And that's why I said,
you asked a very open question.
And that's why I said, my friend, that these are village parties. Because he's talking about...
Then every party in Kenya is village. UDA has now been reduced to a village party from Kamaguti in Sugoi.
He's saying...
At the moment.
He's saying
because we... In Central Kenya, the UDA had largely many supporters compared to other regions in the country. UDA. Today we have left UDA, we have joined DCP. So UDA has been left as what? A national party, you say?
No, you see, you're putting words in my mouth, and that's what I'm saying. I asked a question. That was the ideology of DCP. The answer should have been the ideology of DCP is XYZ.
Now over the nomination of
Ndegwenjiro what is the ideology? What is the ideology?
In Wiper.
What is the ideology of DCP?
But you see, we are not talking about
what
DCP here.
What is the ideology behind DCP? It's a simple question, bro. You are a communications chief.
Yes, sure. But are we talking about DCP here? So we have moved from DCP to Wiper, so that I can now rearrange my.
Well, what you do, you can just give us a brief because because it is a conversation that we are having.
It's the opportunity to recruit.
Yes.
You see, we need to understand first the nini of the topic. We are talking about Wiper.
No. I've asked a question. What is the ideology?
We cannot move DCP? So quick fast.
We're not moving.
We're also coming to Wiper. I think she's going to give us the ideologies of Wiper here.
What is the ideology of DCP?
I can give you
actually give us, yes.
But you see, the question was about
what is the ideology of DCP?
The question about the branding of Wiper Party. That's what we were talking about.
Yes.
You see, when you will ask the question of a DCP, the ideology and what we stand for, then I will be able to answer that question.
Well,
but at the moment, we cannot move goalposts. And then we are talking about Wiper.
Yes. Why is your interviewee not answering the question?
So the question. Okay, the question is, I think it was about because he's saying that these political parties are just village parties.
That was my thinking.
So you are responding to that.
Yes.
On Wiper or DCP?
All of them, the political parties. If you want to respond to DCP, it's okay.
Our party DCP is very different from other political parties.
Yeah.
This is one of the youngest political parties in the country.
True.
That is anchored on listening to the grievances of the people and acting as to their wishes. If you listen to how Rigathi Gachagua introduced the current member of parliament, the firstborn of DCP, he told him, go to the parliament and do as the people wishes you to do. Do not go and do your own things. So we are anchored on listening to the grievances of the people and acting as they wish so. And therefore, having said that, I would want to respond to my sister here and tell her that, you see, political parties are not made, they are not formed so that we can favor gender. They are there to work for the people. by saying that we have a Secretary General, a Secretary General who is a female, and therefore Wiper has had the honor of honoring women in leadership. But now you see it is okay and we appreciate that. Then what about it after that? I've never heard Shakila having any press conferences. I've never heard her does anything. In fact, not many people know her. You see, me, I know her because we come from the same county. But I can tell you not many, we come from the same county, but not many people know her. And you see, most Secretary Generals, for example, Sifuna, you have given that example, were basically known more in ODM as the Secretary General more than Senator for Nairobi. Many people, you ask them who Sifuna was, they will tell you he was the Secretary General of ODM. Now, compare Sifuna as the ODM SG and the current SG for ODM. How many people know her? What does she stand for? How many times has she come to defend ODM? They started with Linda Ground. Now Linda Mwananchi has taken over and it has gone. Linda Ground died. The moment she was given that role, she has not moved an inch. And that's why we are saying, if Ndego Njiro, and because I know he's very competent, if he was given that role of the Secretary General for Wiper, he would put Wiper in a different direction.
Trisha, allow me to school Mbudhi a little bit. Okay. The position of Secretary General is not just for an eloquent speaker, full stop. Being an eloquent speaker is just one of the many components that an SG does in a political party. You're aware that the Secretary General is also the custodian of, most of the time, the legal documents of the party. Judith Sijeni is a lawyer. She's an advocate of the High Court. If you look at, I think a few years back during her tenure, when the Registrar of Political Parties asked political parties to submit their party constitutions with some amendments,
yes,
Wiper was the second party to actually submit after NAC Kenya, if I'm not wrong. And that is why up to very recently, before it became PLP, it was the number one. When parties were re-registering, it was number one because it was the first. So being an eloquent speaker is just a small component. If you talk about Shakila Abdallah, she may not have spoken, but without her, I don't think Wiper would have had the seats that they have in Taita Taveta or in Lamu. So being an eloquent speaker, if that is what we are using to gauge whether a Secretary General has got impact or not, then we will end up having political parties that have got eloquent speakers with empty brains and empty force behind the scenes, empty documents. So I think I need to set that record straight. But also, DCP is quite a new party and a party with a lot of promise. But it's yet to tell us as Kenyans what their ideologies are.
Allah.
You have insisted that political parties do not have ideologies. KANU is a conservative party. It is center-right. ODM, it is center-left. They are social democrats. UDA is a mixture. In fact, if you look at their website, sometimes they are liberals, sometimes they are conservatives. So I would put them as liberal conservatives.
They are Republicans.
Or UDA, that is. If you look at Wiper is also center-left. They are social democrats, as they say, if you look at their documents. But if you look at their mannerisms, they are conservatives. So if you say that our political parties do not have ideologies, and we have parties like the Green Party, we have the UGM, United Green Movement, we have Farmers Party. So Mbudhi, I think even as we start, as we sit here, let us not lie to Kenyans. Let us not lie to Kenyans even as we defend our stance.
You see, I'm in between a rock and a hard place. Because we are talking about...
How can we save you?
Yeah, we are talking about Wiper, who is a partner in the United Alternative Government.
Yes.
And DCP, which is my party. So I cannot get into details over the same because I cannot be able to comment more than I have commented on that matter. So I wish the Wiper Party all the best. And the new gentleman, Mohammed Ali, is a good guy. I thought he would vie for Mombasa governor with DCP, but it's good because if he has...
Now we get it. Now we understand where the issue is.
If he went to Mombasa County and looked at the dynamics and saw that he was good to vie on Wiper, then it's good to go.
It's not actually that he went. He's from Mombasa, so he has been there, so he knows the dynamics of the coastal vote.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. And for Ndego Njiro, I wish him the best. Comes from Kirinyaga County, and he's also vying there, I think, for Senate. But it's good. It's good. It's a good. He's adding some good value. Kalonzo Musyoka is adding some good value, and I wish him the best.
So, Buthia, there are some rumors, and actually Odhiambo has already also hinted on that, saying that Rigathi Gachagua cannot leave that seat for someone like Kalonzo Musyoka, whom they feel like he's just seated there, he's doing nothing. Do you think your party leader would give...
I think that is his opinion.
It's Odhiambo's opinion.
Odhiambo's opinion. He has said so, and it's opinion, and it's okay. But for my party leader, why not? Why not? He supported William Ruto in 2022. He can still support another person in 2027. What we are doing, we are galvanizing our vote block. We are not doing anything out of the normal. We were today in Kiambu County, bringing our communities together, bringing our support base together. Kalonzo is also doing his thing. And then, towards the end of the year, they will sit down and agree on one presidential candidate. It might be Kalonzo Musyoka. It might be Rigathi Gachagua. It might be Martha Karua. It might be Sifuna and others. So, one thing I can assure you is, it is either Rigathi Gachagua or one of the candidates in the United Alternative Government.
Odhiambo, did you hear about the Hyena coalition?
The Hyena coalition?
Yes.
That's an interesting one. No, never heard of it. That doesn't exist.
How come?
I don't know it. Though I know some people have been referred to as hyenas, and I know it is Uhuru Kenyatta and this cabal of thieves.
Which thieves are those?
The thieves that robbed Kenya. Uhuru Kenyatta and this cabal. There are few Kikuyus who did that, and then some Kalenjins, of course.
Okay, so Buthia, what about that?
What is Odhiambo saying? What is he talking about?
I'm talking about.
I'm talking about the Hyena coalition.
Hyena coalition. Me, I'm saying the hyenas have heard of are Kikuyus who are referred to as hyenas, and those Kikuyus are Uhuru Kenyatta. Because there's
who
so many
said it is Uhuru Kenyatta?
No, me, I'm telling you the context.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in my understanding, communication happens at the terms of the listener.
Yes.
So what I listened to is that, because I've said here before that there are very many disciplined Kikuyus who are very hardworking in the streets outside here, and also in government offices. There are so many. But we have some elements who have proven to us that they're actually hyenas. One of them, I'm not afraid to state, is Uhuru Kenyatta. He robbed us of 6 trillion shillings. We don't know where that money went to. Nobody, not even his people can explain where that money went to. I've asked Advice Mundalo severally. He served under Uhuru Kenyatta. Yes, Joaquim has always pointed to odious debt, etc. So there are those bad people who have even used Kikuyu name to eat on behalf of Kikuyus, but Kikuyus are not benefiting from that theft. And I believe that is the hyena which is being referred to, not the whole community. Of course, a whole community cannot be hyenas. That would be disrespectful.
Buthia, you want to respond?
This gentleman is talking like William Ruto. From how I have never interacted with him, but from how I have just listened to him, he's speaking like William Ruto and his team. They want to divide Kikuyus.
No.
There are superior Kikuyus and the other Kikuyus. Like there are Kikuyus from Mount Kenya East.
No, let me ask you.
You cannot.
Let me ask you.
If
just a minute.
You call Uhuru Kenyatta, then you are calling myself a thief.
No, you're not a thief unless you're one.
You see, there's no way. How do you know?
But I'm saying Uhuru Kenyatta is a thief.
But you don't have evidence that.
No, he's a thief.
Again, who told you?
Everybody in this country.
What context are you saying that?
Wait, gentlemen. Before I call you a Kikuyu, wait. Everybody knows in this country, unless you live out of this country, that Uhuru stole our 6 trillion shillings.
Where?
You don't know he stole our 6 trillion shillings.
When?
That's the kind of thinking that we don't encourage here.
Where? And why is he not in jail?
Are you saying you are not aware that we have odious debt question in this country?
No, but that's not.
Are you aware that we have odious debt question in this country?
Yeah, I know. I'm
you are aware. Where did that money go to? Who took it? Is it William Ruto?
Odious debt is.
Who took the money? Is it William Ruto? Is it Uhuru Kenyatta? Under whose leadership was this money stolen? Speak to us, bro. Speak.
Okay, assuming that you see now the context into which he's bringing the argument about hyenas. Before I come to hyena coalition, is the context in which Aden Duale spoke. He said that there are people, there's a community in this country who have appetite for power. They always want to be there. See these Kikuyus. They always want to be there, and they cannot support one of their own. That's what he said, and he equated Kikuyus to hyenas, who are always wanting more and more and more. Now he has decided to take a small a portion of it. You see, I always see sometimes Gordon Opio write those kind of things on social media, saying that there's a cabal of Kikuyu supremacists and the others.
But
who
isn't
are
it
there
true?
No.
Is it false that the Kikuyu supremacists?
Just allow him to finish.
You
Yes.
see,
Let's just have a conversation.
that language,
Okay, that's what we are doing.
Do we have Kikuyu supremacists?
That
Do we have
language-
Luo supremacists? Do
that
we have
language-
Muslim supremacists?
That
Yes,
language,
they're there.
I know they are, but you see, there is no
Especially
way.
the ones from Kiambu. Me, I'll tell you, me, I don't filter my words, I'll tell you. They even took an oath in 1969. And they said, the leadership of the presidency should never cross River Chania.
Those are
These are
propagandas.
Kikuyu.
See,
These are Kikuyus.
the guy-
Who
you
did
are-
it? Bro, we are not idiots. I mean, we're not idiots. These things have happened in this country. They've been documented. We're not talking from the hair of our noses. We're talking from things that even you know that happened in this country.
But you see, into which context was Aden Duale speaking to? So is he telling me that I should now assume that he was not talking about me, about us?
If
as
the
a
shoe
community?
fits, then wear it.
No. There's no. You see, let me tell you something. And I've said this before because
Yes.
I've been here. Over 4 million people from Central Kenya voted for William Ruto. You see, we cannot get out of that context. Over 4 million people from my community voted
Yes.
for William Ruto in 2022. We voted him knowing that he's not a Kikuyu. We knew he was not a Kikuyu, and we knew very well, but we supported him. Now, today, in 2026, we have fallen off with the Kenya Kwanza administration, which majorly was supported by the community we are coming from. Us hearing some members of his cabinet speaking in the language they are speaking, that there is a community in Kenya that has appetite for power and they cannot get enough of it, automatically it must interfere with our conscience. We must ask ourselves, is it this the same government that we voted in 2022 that now is calling us hyenas? And if so, then, because politics is about how you feel and where you want to take your votes to, we will form a coalition, quote unquote, a hyena coalition, and take all our votes to either one of our own, who is a hyena, or take them to somebody else who has dignity, who has shown dignity to us. In the meantime, at the moment, having voted for this government, and this government, members of his cabinet calling us hyenas, we are not feeling comfortable. And that is why Rigathi Gachagua has said, because you see now politics is about seducing votes.
Yes.
It's not about forcing issues. You have to come and talk to the community. We have the numbers, we have the votes. You tell us what you will plan for us. About Uhuru Kenyatta and what he's saying, it's not here nor there. It is what they have planned. You see, even now, they are saying that Mulima si moja, there is Mount Kenya East, and they are forcing it. Like literally, they want to break Mulima into half.
But it's coming from the same people from there. Look at CS Ruku.
Good. He's a member of his cabinet.
Yes.
He's a member of Ruto's cabinet.
But he's also a member of Mulima.
Definitely.
He's also from Murima.
You see, it's okay. You see, we are many people.
Oh,
you see, we are many. And being with big numbers, the others will go to the other side and try to be used.
So then who wants to break Mulima?
There's no problem. Even if Roko comes from the mountain and says, there's no problem, by the way. If Roko, you see, there is no way, there is no a day. This is not the first time in 2027 at Mount Kenya, people are going to vote in two different ways. No. It will not be the first. It will not be the first time. We have always voted as a bloc.
Okay.
Even in 2013, when to some extent the people from Meru felt that they were more, or they would want to support Raila Odinga more than they would vote for, they would support Uhuru Kenyatta. Ultimately, at the end of the day, when the votes came, we were speaking the same language. So it will not be the first time. In 2027, we are going to speak as one as one community, and we are going to put our votes where our mouth is.
So the coalition, is it just for the Kikuyus only, or are you going to bring other tribes in?
You see, it is. We felt it is our community which was attacked.
Okay.
First, we have embraced the hyena name. Rigathi Gachagua has said there are over 16 political parties which are saying one term within the region, and therefore we are going to form a coalition of these political parties from the region and form a hyena coalition so that we can bring our votes together to take William Ruto to Sugoi. It is as simple as that. And I don't think there's a problem with that. You see the problem? You see, there are people who feel like that we need to vote for William Ruto by force. It's not a force. We were not forced in 2022. We will not be forced in 2027.
But you are manipulated into it in 2022. Would you say?
Not really. You see, we voted for William Ruto since 2013 for 2 terms. 2013, 2017, 2017, 2022 as a deputy president. And he had gotten to the extent of having a good relationship and a rapport with the people of the mountain. And we also felt that he had some good manifesto of the bottom up. You see, when you come to our community, unlike other communities, I wouldn't speak of other communities, when you tell a Kikuyu who is a small business person that you're going to uplift them to a higher level, they would really listen to you. So they are business oriented. So they would want to see, huyu jamaa ananiambia kutoka kwa bodaboda nitakuwa na tuk-tuk. You see, that is the guy I would really want to hear. So that is what happens, but ultimately we realized it was a hoax. And we are here today. Look at what the president is doing. Is he doing the bottom-up work, or the bottom-up was what I saw yesterday?
What did you see?
Over 20,000 watchmen going to State House to get 5,000 shillings. Was that the bottom-up we were talking about?
Did Uhuru call a watchman to State House when he was president?
Maybe he can answer that.
Are you aware?
Yeah, he did.
Are you aware that?
Of
are you
course,
aware?
also.
Yes, he did.
But it
Are
doesn't
you
make
aware?
it right just because
Exactly.
Of course, it doesn't make it right.
Exactly.
It doesn't make it right, but there's a point I'm driving. State House ni nyumba ya Wakenya. Even you can walk to State House.
I'm actually waiting to be called.
Once you have an appointment.
Yes.
If you're invited to State House, utakata kwenda. Is the president or is the presidents inviting you? Even if you're in conflict with the state and you're extended an invite to go and address your grievance, you choose whether to go or not. 10,000 security officers decided to honor an invite to State House. They had the option of saying no and go back to their stations and work. What's the problem? What's the problem?
Brian,
what's the problem?
Sana there is a company we saw there.
Which one?
In that State House.
G4S?
We saw that.
Just mention a name.
No, we saw G4S.
Yes.
Most of the watchmen there
yes.
were wearing G4S regalia.
Yeah, yes. G4S is the best branded. The rest are not properly branded.
No. It begs for me, I'm then questioning the apolitical state of G4S as an institution, because I need to be sure that whoever is guarding my
property or what, yes,
or whether it is private or for business, I need to be sure that is not someone who can be swayed politically. Because what happens when it's an election period, they're still at my doorstep and we have conflicting views. So for me, that in itself, just seeing the G4S regalia there, that is a conversation Kenyans need to have.
You know, standard operating procedures of every company differs. In some companies, they would say, if you're going to a political function, you must not go in our regalia.
True.
Okay? Now, if G4S and the other companies, their SOP allowed them, or they deviated and allowed their security guards to go to State House wearing the official
uniform,
regalia.
Yeah?
Of course, from a communication standpoint, it takes a reputation hit. Though, is it fair that they went in that fashion? Yes. Why? It's a political conversation. We could hate whoever. I am not in agreement with Gachagua, for example.
Yes.
For his kind of ideology that I think he has. I'm not in agreement with him. And it is okay. Just the same way he was not in agreement with President Ruto previously, he was not in agreement with Raila Odinga, he's not in agreement with Munya and many more people. And when I honor an invite to the State House, and I go there dressed in my party in my official uniform, then of course it doesn't weigh upon me as an individual who is hired by my company. My company must have been consulted because I was not invited as an individual. The company must have been asked, do you mind? Okay? Now, let's also understand the larger context
yes,
of why these people had to go in that fashion. Can I? I would want to inform. I would want to inform you about something, Jaber. When you see these companies, this security, private security, they are regulated. The regulator is the what? Is the state. Now, when the sitting president, even Uhuru did it, I don't say it is right, but it has happened before this presidents.
Yeah.
If you defy, for example, an invite, then it sends a wrong signal. Okay? It sends a wrong signal. That, for example, you're not in agreement with President Trump, you're doing business with America, President Trump's invited you to the White House, and then you refuse to go. His actors, or the people around him, be like, this fellow and this company are not good for America. Because unfortunately, what is good for the prevailing president is what his regulators want also to be good for the state. So it's an unfortunate situation politically worldwide. Should it be like that? No, you should be able to turn down an invite. And that's why I said individual security guards, and I'm sure some of them didn't go. I'm sure some of them didn't go. Some of them were sick. Some just said no. Ruto, no. And they sat at home. And for the bulk who went there, it's their right. They went there. In terms of the brand issue and everything, that is an internal issue for most of these firms. But it's an unfortunate situation. I can say that confidently.
You want to respond? Yes, please.
I think it's okay. It's okay for them to go. Me, I don't have a problem. I didn't have a problem with the private security guards going to State House because it's good. You see, the president is used. The president cannot stay alone. I have come to learn something with William. He can't stay in the office and work. He must be with people somehow. Somewhere.
What are you saying?
Yeah, he can't. He cannot stay in the office and work. Look at him. And there's one thing I want to tell him is that, you see, money and handouts will not take him. He will not get him another term. He should get to know what happens in Olkalau.
We will not breathe.
He sent everything. He sent everything. You see, that's a good example. It was actually a very good example for him, but he does not learn. You see, he sent everything. He sent over 15 billion Kenya shillings worth of projects and handouts.
Of course, that is not true.
and handouts, but he still lost by big margin. 1 week later, he's hosting everybody at State House. Sheikhs, Sijui, Wazewa Mata, Sijui, other fellows, and everybody gets with 5,000. You see, when...
Gets how much?
5,000 shillings.
Oh, is it bad?
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's good. It's Kenyan money. You see, William Ruto is now telling Kenyans goodbye. He has been paying since 2022 for the 5 years Kenyans gave him. He started by Hustler Fund, ikakuliwa. He went on moving and gave people some 20,000 shillings, imekuliwa. He's now giving people handouts in the state. Imekuliwa. So William Ruto is giving back the money. He's anarudishia watu shukrani kwa sababu ya kumchagua for 5 years. He has not started working. Because if he was working, he would have met these people where they are working. Me, I see him every day, and I don't know why he thinks that everything revolves around him. I see him all the time with his calves and wheat in the village, his farm. Instead of him going to check a normal farmer in the village to know how is the fertilizer going on, you see, like we have had a very bad harvest this year, but he goes back to the village, he goes back to his farm, take some photos and show Kenyans that his farm is...
No, is there a problem with that? Because
you see, he's the president of Kenya. He's supposed to show...
We have a ministry in agriculture that should be doing that work.
Exactly. Why should he do that? He does not allow them to do so. Have you ever seen any minister doing that? It is him and him alone. And that's why I'm saying he has a problem with things. He thinks everything rotates around him. He does not give ministers opportunities to work. The other day, the former cabinet secretary for Treasury said that the president is 360 degrees. Yes.
But why is someone who is sane and a professional, who respects themselves, accepting to be given a title and a salary, yet he is not being allowed to work?
I'm actually wondering, and I'm really scared what kind of cabinet secretaries, the kind of cabinet secretaries we have right now. I don't know. Somebody like Mutahi Kagwe is not a poor man. Why would he allow himself to be
he's working for Kenyans?
Where? When did you see him? What has he done? He's the Minister for Agriculture. We have had a very bad harvest this year. A very bad harvest because of rain and the crop. But he has said nothing. He has never spoken. Not even the cabinet secretary, not the PS. Nothing. Nowhere.
But let me ask you, I know Olkalau set an example, and from Olkalau, people say that it is easy to remove President Ruto from that seat. That's what people are saying, and it is easy for people to eat money and vote otherwise, right? But I want to, maybe to, as we think through, these people who have come to State House, do you think these people live the same way they came? Odhiambo,
yeah.
The people who are coming to State House, do you think they live the same way they came? In terms of their perception around the president?
Something definitely shifts, yeah? And not everybody, but at least before you meet somebody, there's a different perception that you have of them until when you meet them. When you meet the president and the conversation goes just like when you sit in a personal space with somebody, you'll realize something different about them. It could be either confirming your biases, or it could be offending your biases. For example, you may be going next to him, imagining that he's a rude person. Then you find this person is extremely soft. Like, for example, the most surprising one that I've had before is Putin. Putin looks very vicious in the media.
Yes.
And people imagine is this idiot who is suffering from some low self-esteem, etc. But there's a lady who worked in, I think she was an ambassador to Russia for some time, from America or from one of the European countries. I watched a documentary the other day. And this lady was saying how she was, how do I put it? She was very mesmerized with how Putin presents himself. He is extremely brilliant, extremely friendly, and somebody who shakes hands, unlike what she imagined, that this guy does not even shake hands because he fears being poisoned. But she even realized that when Putin, before he goes into his car, he actually shakes the hand of his officer before he gets in. And there is that difference that comes to you when you realize, oh, this is the kind of person that is different from what we're being told in the media. Why? The media frames. The media frames people. The media's job is to give us what to think of. And the media can be overrun by particular narratives, okay? And that's why today, the narrative of one term has been very serious against President Ruto. And it is very loud in most media stations. And that is guaranteed. We are in a liberal media space, or social responsibility media space. Now, these watchmen or these security guards who met President Ruto, of course, one, you've gone into State House. It is not something to be proud about, but you are amongst the few people. I've never stepped into State House myself. You're amongst the people who have seen the inside of the State House. Why is that something for me? Because Mwalimu Julius Nyerere said that Ikulu ni mahali patakatifu. It is where the decision that affects millions of Kenyans is actually made. That's where the cabinet sits. So it is interesting that you sit there. There's a way it changes your mind. Two, you meet this president, whether it is at a distance, but you're around that space. Definitely your mind changes on some things, on how perhaps you view life. Your self-worth also increases in terms of your self-esteem. That mimi nimeinvitiwa nikakana president. You can at least go and tell somebody what you heard, not what you saw in the media. What you heard from the president himself.
And it is easier for them to believe you.
Yes. It could be easier for them to believe. And it's a strong communication strategy. And for the people who are still doubting what President Ruto is doing, inviting these guys to State House, it is very, very lethal. That is meeting structures which are outside this party. Some people are still struggling to amalgamate their constituencies, like Mount Kenya, especially Mount Kenya East. Yeah, I'm a West. Hawa. They're still trying to amalgamate their constituency. Okay, the president is operating outside his structure. He's trying to amalgamate and see, can I talk to people? Just talking. And by the way, there's been this talk about 5,000 shillings, etc., etc. It doesn't change life, because of course, when I go to a meeting myself today, you won't pay me anything less than 25,000 to sit and listen to you. I won't listen to you for nothing. In fact, I will stand and go if I'm not sure that there's something that is coming at the end of it, because it's my time and it's precious. So if you call these security chiefs and guards to come and meet you, and you give them 5,000, it is not because you loathe them or something. What changes majorly is just the introduction to a new environment, which maybe they had not seen before, but also the chance to ask questions. And perhaps the chance to interact with the president one-on-one. There's nothing much, there's nothing big It's just the common thing. Yeah.
And then they sing two-term.
I want
No. Some of them left there showing middle fingers. I saw them.
I saw them say two-term.
I want to.
Some of them also left showing middle fingers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to concur with him 100%. William Ruto has lost mojo among Kenyans.
That's not concurring with what I'm saying. that is creating.
You see why? No, you see, it is in the same context. He has lost mojo with Kenyans, and he confirms that. And what he has decided to do...
He has not lost his mojo.
Relax.
And unless you don't know English.
Relax, he has.
No, what is mojo?
And now, what he has decided to do is what Uhuru Kenyatta exactly did. But unfortunately with Mount Kenya region, and I'll come to that in a bit. William Ruto has decided to call people to his house and tell them, hey guys, you see the way you're being told uko nje, mimi ni corrupt. Mmeniona. Mmeniona. Si nimewaita State House. I think I'm not a bad person. Unfortunately, he has very little time to do so. Uhuru Kenyatta did that. People say that Uhuru Kenyatta did not campaign for Raila Odinga. Oh, not unless people are not aware. Uhuru Kenyatta used Sagana State Lodge for close to 3 months. Yes. He used to call serious delegation. I used to work as a journalist in central Kenya, reporting for the region, but based in Nyeri. So, and Sagana State Lodge is in Nyeri, so we used to go there many times. And Uhuru Kenyatta would sit with Kikuyus and tell them, tell them issues and tell them why I decided to work with Raila Odinga and not this other guy. But unfortunately, that design has not worked. It did not work with Uhuru Kenyatta. After talking to over 1 million people, in a group of 10,000, giving them 5,000. Of course, even us, we used to get that money. Because it would be very early in the morning, you line up, get 5,000 shillings, new brand new money, 1,000 shillings, and then you eat, and then the president comes at around 11 and talks to you, and then you go home. And unfortunately, after the 2022 election, Uhuru Kenyatta was only able to bring together partly 800 to 1 million votes for Raila Odinga. 3.5 million went to Ruto, who did not use the state lodge, but went to the people directly. He was all over the same way you sing.
So are you saying he's using an expired strategy?
It will not go. It's not going to work. One, time is not in his side. He has, in fact, imagine William Ruto has not worked. For the last 4 years, he has been telling Kenyans why he is not corrupt. Why is building houses? He's explaining. He keeps explaining. He explained kwa ground, akaona kimeumana, now he's explaining in State House. So basically, for me, I have issues not only with William Ruto but also during the Uhuru regime. They are very populist. Uhuru Kenyatta was a populist president, and William Ruto is. Because if you look at how Mwai Kibaki used to work at State House, that is exactly what the State House is supposed to be used. It's a working space. It's an office. It's where president meets with his cabinet secretaries, the PSs. It's a working office. It's where you see like this private office, but for the public. Like you have been given as a president a space to work. But now William Ruto has made it look like it is instead of converting that house in Narok, he has converted the State House because he's the president of Kenya to make it become his home and bring everybody and everyone and everything. Then tomorrow in fact, there's a very likelihood. You see the way, me I was around here in the morning. In the morning, I was around this place. And the way I saw those guys going to State House, it's very dangerous. Over 10,000 people being open gate, State House, bila frisking with their phones.
So let me, it's okay.
I was hoping that Mbudia would tell us it is dangerous because
of this,
or this and this is happening because. But I'd like to differ with the two gentlemen on the stand of the, what is it in a private security?
Yes,
going to State House. Because one, if I were them, I wouldn't be too excited about this meeting. This is a gentleman who loves to make promises but does not follow through with these promises. Just recently, and I know he's told us that the media frames, but the truth is this is a gentleman who, on his own volition, will stand up, speak, give promises and timelines of those promises and then not follow through. So when he makes such pronouncements, one, I know this is another promise that will not have a follow through, so it is not going anywhere. Two, it sort of feels like he's personalizing policy. When you talk about an increase in, I think it was a 15% increase in the wage or something like that. When you talk about such policy changes, normally he would want to pass them through parliament, especially because we know that the executive currently has a hold on parliament. He would want to take it through parliament if he really did mean what he was saying. But the biggest thing, and what I saw or how I read it, was that this is a gentleman who is avoiding the necessary questions around governance. This is a president who does not want to be spoken to about the promises he made when he was campaigning, the ones that are written in his manifesto.
Yes.
This is a president who doesn't want to be asked about the cost of living. This is a president who does not want to be asked about the current insecurity in this country. It is only in this regime, and I'm not saying there have not been murders in the previous regimes, but the kind of murders that are happening in this current regime almost makes it look normal. That Tricia today, Odemo and I could have a tiff, and one of us takes the other out, and it is normal. It is no longer a surprise, you know. So this is a man that is trying to take or steer people away from asking him the questions that matter. And so that is what I read when I see he is calling the private security to State House. It's not, to me, it is, yes, there is a campaign aspect bit of it, but for me, the major reason as to why it is worrying is because this is a man that is hiding behind such gatherings, because those gatherings are rallies. They're not dialogues. If he was calling them for a dialogue, then he would not be talking at them, right? It would be a conversation where have a mic roaming around, have 3-4 people given the mic to speak, to share their thoughts randomly, people who have not been chosen prior to. Let them actually tell you their concerns. Don't assume you know their concerns. Let them actually give you what their expectations of being called into, you know, as he called it, the public home. Yeah, because that was a rally. So that's, to me, that is what I would think about that meeting.
Okay, so there's somebody here who has just commented, and I think we need to look at this comment. He's saying that he loves how the individuals who have never been elected. Okay, not this one. This one that he's saying that people are exchanging their IDs for money. Yeah, this is John Mithika, who is saying what I heard beyond men and women receiving money at State House is that they exchange money with their IDs, and that's very dangerous. Like, or not? I don't know.
I don't think
that cannot work.
I don't think it works. You see, we were also very much scared because the government was buying IDs from the people of Olkalau, and we thought there would be something, but there's nothing that came out of it. So I really don't know why they believe that they're exchanging money. But I don't even think that is true, because for the State House you must produce your ID to get in, so that you can be able to be checked for the nationality and other things, for security measures. But I don't think to answer him, he should relax. There is nothing the government can do with your ID when it comes to voting. Even if they take it, they will just take it and maybe drop it somewhere. But I don't think it is going to change the matrix of voting, because that is what we were scared of. We thought that they would use other people to come and vote or something, but nothing happened. And they really bought, by the way, IDs. Maybe they were reducing the voter turnout or something, but it was not anything to do with the electoral practice. And
there's something also you've touched about the promises that the president would give in those meetings, and I remember sometimes back, I think this year too, there's a day that the CS body came out and said that these roadside promises and declarations that the president is doing is really hurting the budget of the country. You know, we've planned for this, and then now the president goes and is excited and says that I'm going to do this for you, I'm going to do this for you, and then he was saying that it is hurting the budget that we had that time. So that's just something that I said I can also comment about.
Such wisdom can only come from someone from Homa Bay. But I digress.
Okay, that is bad, Sasa.
Yes.
Okay.
But his cabinet secretary, right?
Yes.
He was telling him the truth.
Yes, we are not, that a bit I'm not disputing.
So Badu was saying the truth. But because because he's the cabinet secretary for a president who does not listen, he decides to take the salary. And remain as the cabinet secretary.
It does go back to the question I raised. That doesn't change anything. I do have to give him props, however, for speaking up.
Definitely.
Because we know very many of them are
quiet.
they're not doing anything in their dockets and they're quiet about it.
Okay, well, before we get to this debate around this issue of the election date, Odhiambo,
yes,
you were showing me some bucket full of notes, 10 coins, 20 shillings, 100, 1,000. Sifuna is being it's being given. Yeah, so what do you think about Sifuna? Because naona nasukuma amesemekana kwamba atapata hii kiti ya kwenda kukua president in this country.
Sifuna is at a good position. I like it for him. I think let him keep up the tempo. It's good. That's a serious opposition candidate.
So you understand his ideology, the ideology behind the party, because you say the other parties are village parties. You don't understand their ideologies.
No, I didn't just say they're village parties. They're still even sorting village championship questions.
Okay.
One where my fellow journalist comes from has just said that they won common MP seat.
He's very biased.
All Kalau.
He's very biased.
And
he's saying that Sifuna is a serious presidential candidate, but Sifuna has no party. But he's under my party leader asking DCP if they have an ideology, but we have a political
That's
party.
why I've asked him.
But if a day in politics
I'm
is
still
long.
answering the question.
Yeah, so allow him to answer the question. Yes.
So Sifuna looks like he has a semblance of a national appeal, which is beautiful. People are contributing money to him. It's something that is unseen in this country before, especially the cash one door ikija. That was very interesting for me. He's doing well. I mean, it's good for him. But these village salad parties should not disturb you, like DCP, where this guy comes from, where they're trying to sort out Justin Muturi. They're sorting out Munya. They're still having housekeeping issues, which they need to move with speed because time is of essence on the national question. And we want DCP to sit on the table so that we tell them off in their face that they have no agenda for this country. Theirs is hate, vitriol, bigotry, misogyny, nothing important that they bring to the table. What they bring to the table is the catalysm or the catalyst to take President Ruto out of power. And that's the only agenda they have. They've said it before. They've been asked, what do you offer? One term. What is one term? We want him out. After he goes, we will deal with that when we are there. A country is not run on vitriol and hate and bigotry and misogyny like they want to do it. A country is run on a plan. A country is run on constitutionalism.
You see that plan in... are you seeing that plan in Mimindo Sifuna?
Sifuna must be having a plan, I'm certain, because it does not... remember, Sifuna is Raila Odinga's student. He understands that you must present a proper, solid manifesto for the people. We could be rushing, asking him to produce his manifesto now. He is under no obligation to give us his manifesto now. But of course, he will present a manifesto. And how I wish that the catalyst pumps Sifuna's presidential bid and not Kalonzo. Because immediately they'll declare that Gachagua is running for presidency. Have you ever met a skunk? He's a skunk. And people just run away from him because a skunk is known for the publicity it grants itself.
Who said so?
I can tell you.
He's saying so.
I'm saying so. I'm the one who is saying that people will run away from Gachagua.
And why would he then assume that if Sifuna is declared the presidential candidate, people from the Mount Kenya will not run away?
You know something that I want to tell you. Let me just tell you something. Let me just tell you something. Allow me. Let me just tell you something. This country can run without Mount Kenya. Mount Kenya is very small. This thinking that you guys are the only thing in this country that determines every presidential candidate, this country can run without you guys, especially people like you.
That is
this country will run without you.
Same language William Ruto is now using. But
no, it is the fact. Because you cannot tell us. Just a minute. You cannot tell us that it is Mount Kenya that has to make a president. It is Mount Kenya that made President Ruto. It is Mount Kenya that
who made President Ruto president? The people from the Nyanza region voted for Raila Odinga. The people from the coast.
Actually, I want to tell you.
Western voted for Raila Odinga. Mount Kenya and the
I want to tell you that
the people from.
it is Nyanza that made President Ruto president, and I want to tell you how they made him.
No.
Are you willing to listen?
I know where you are going.
Are you willing to listen?
You see, there are no votes.
Are you willing to listen so that I can explain for you how Nyanza made Ruto president? In a minute.
Continue.
Let me tell you, Wayua. Raila got the votes he needed from Mount Kenya, which was about 1 million votes. That is all he needed to win that election. Okay? Ruto, deep down his heart, he knew that election was unassailable. Okay? And the only hope he was having was that people in Nyanza don't turn up to vote. If 700,000 people turned up and voted, today Martha Karua would be president. So Ruto was made president by 700,000 people who never turned up to vote for Raila Odinga. Because Mount Kenya turned up to the maximum that they should have turned up for President Ruto. They did that. That is the truth. And they also turned up to the maximum that they would for Raila Odinga. What happened is that 2022 election was won and lost in Nyanza, especially Luo Nyanza, especially 700,000 people who did not turn up to vote. That is the group that made this president.
But we also have equally same numbers also in other areas where people did not come out to vote.
I'm talking about the determinant because Raila's background or Raila's stronghold was Luo Nyanza. If that 700,000 turned up to vote, Raila would have won. And Raila lost it. And I've said it before. And again, as somebody working as a mayor, not as an outsider. Okay? That we lost this election because mobilization was poor, number one. Number two, we didn't have agents across the country. Number three, it was that we mismanaged the nomination of ODM. And we inspired voter apathy to the maximum. We had a wrong narrative. Outside there we were saying, we will be rigged. Oh, you're being rigged and you have the state resources. Number two, we were like, some group, a section of Azimio was like, we've won this election. So guys were like, okay, if we've won it, why should we turn up and vote? And these are the narratives we used to correct inside Azimio. We used to say this, don't stop this thing of saying that we've already won. Stop this thing because you're inspiring voter apathy. Then stop this thing of telling people that, the deputy president is planning to rig. You are simply telling people that you are weak. And when Ruto stood in Uasin Gishu, what did he say in Eldoret? He said, mimi Ruto, kura yangu ibiwe. Mimi si Raila.
But he's very correct.
And inspired these people to turn up and vote because they were sure that his votes will be what? Will be protected.
But he's very correct.
So it is not Kikuyu who made Ruto.
No, he's very correct either way.
It's not Kikuyu who made Ruto.
He's very correct either way.
Excuse us.
Mount Kenya region came out to their maximum to vote for Ruto. Luo Nyanza did not turn up. Basically, he's saying the same thing, that Mount Kenya region took a very big part in making this government. And the previous government that has been there since 2007, now coming forward. And therefore, you cannot just wish away the Mount Kenya region. You will speak a lot of English here, you will say a lot of words, but at the end of the day, you will need the Mount Kenya. Even Sifuna, by the way, and I've said here once again, that I'm in between a rock and a hard place because I wouldn't want to go into details much on how I feel about Sifuna because he's part of our team, and I'm really.
No, he cannot be part of your team. Forget. You wish.
He is. No. He is part.
Gachagua student say that nyinyi wachiriki erhere.
You see, one term means
he's part of our team.
No, it's not. One term means you cannot have your cake and eat it.
Sifuna will not be part of your team.
But he's in one term.
He's a fantasy girlfriend you'll never have.
He's in one term, right? He's saying William Ruto will go one term.
That doesn't automatically make him part of the team. But
listen, he is in one term, and one term means William Ruto to go for one term. Us in DCP, we are saying William Ruto will go for one term. We will agree. All those one-termers, we will form a coalition to take William Ruto home. There's nothing you can do about it. Kalonzo Musyoka's team, Sifuna's team, Rigiji's team, Matiang'i's team. We are in one term. And we will agree. And even but Sifuna has said many times.
Nobody is disputing that
it is his friend.
He is also one term. But that doesn't automatically mean that he will form a coalition with DCP. However, there's a question that.
But Sifuna has said many times that they will work together with Rigathi Gachagua. Why are you speaking on his behalf?
Brian has asked you. He spoke about. He asked you. He talked about Gachagua not being the president and people running away.
Yeah.
And do you realize that anytime we ask you about, or anyone asks about Gachagua and DCP, it goes back to Mount Kenya.
Yes.
Anytime there is a a question around why do you think the state has failed, or why do you think this needs to change, it goes back to Mount Kenya. If you are saying that as a party you're fronting a presidential candidate who is going to govern 48 governments, 47 counties in the national government, this has to be someone with a national face. I would like to hear him speak.
Those are fantasies.
About
issues to do
the
with the national
fishermen.
face are fantasies.
I would like to,
and I know you know that.
No, I do not know that.
How is it a fantasy?
Because Uhuru Kenyatta,
how is it a fantasy?
during his tenure, I will tell
do
you,
you hear?
Uhuru Kenyatta,
allow her to finish.
Uhuru Kenyatta during his
Allow her
bila
to
wewe.
finish.
in as much as-
bila wewe.
Exactly.
Be
In as much as
careful.
Uhuru Kenyatta comes from Central. He stepped in when there was an issue in Migingo Island.
Yeah.
That is a person who has a national face. So when you tell us that that is a fantasy, you're telling us that if Rigathi Gachagua gets elected today as president, God forbid, it means that he will only focus in Mount Kenya. He'll only focus in them around the counties around the mountain. So every single Kenyan should be very worried. If I were asked, I would say that Rigathi Gachagua has done an exemplary job in opposition, and there is where he should remain. Because when he was in government, we saw the things he did around police brutality. When he was in government, we saw the number of times he called out government. Do you know how many number of times he called out the wrongs? 0 when he was in government.
You say so?
Yeah, it is. What do you mean was I there? But I am a Kenyan citizen who lives in this country.
Were you there when the Gen Zs broke into the parliament? Was the Rigathi Gachagua the deputy president then?
He was on his way out. Were you there?
Was he in government?
Were you there in the?
Was he in government? Was Rigathi Gachagua in government when Gen Zs broke into the parliament?
Were you there?
Where was he? He was
the deputy president.
Yeah, he was.
He was on his way
He had
out.
a parallel. No, where?
I remember
when
the
you
same
knew
man-
that he was being impeached before he knew
this is the same
himself.
man, Trisha, who stood up and in 2023 when he was the deputy president, and he congratulated police brutality. This is the same man. So just because he used it later on for political mileage does not mean that it cancels out what he did the previous year. In 2023, that same Rigathi Gachagua applauded police brutality during the Azimio protests. In 2024, during the Gen Z protests, he then comes back to use it as political mileage, and you expect us to believe that he was doing it genuinely.
Rigathi Gachagua was a deputy president. He was not the president. He was the Ministry for
But
Interior.
in 2023,
he was just
the president was out of the country, so the deputy president was the one who was here.
No.
When
You
that
see,
police brutality
the
was
government has
going on.
structures. Deputy president cannot tell the IG what he needs to do. No. For example, now we have a deputy president now today. Does he tell the IG what he should do?
Mbudia.
Does he tell the DCI what he needs to do? Police officers have their own structure, independent. So if Rigathi Gachagua makes maybe a political pronouncement,
so you're calling his terminologies political pronouncements?
No, you see, in one way or the other.
They are political pronouncements. So he made a political pronouncement encouraging demonstrators and protesters.
You cannot entirely now. No. What would you say when he stood with the Gen Zs when
I have just said what I said. That he used it for political mileage. That's exactly what I've said. That he used it for political mileage.
So are you saying, because I think you are responding to Odhiambo when he said that if today Rigathi Gachagua goes vice as the president, people will run away. Are you supporting that? Or what are you saying?
150%. Because we have seen how he behaved when he was a deputy president. And we have seen how he has behaved in opposition. And here in opposition, he's doing a perfect job. When someone is doing a perfect job, you don't remove them from that docket. You don't remove someone from sales and take them to communication.
Nobody is going
because
to
they're
run
doing well in
away
sales.
when Rigathi Gachagua.
Let Rigathi Gachagua remain in opposition because
One
he has
thing.
unearthed a lot of
Rigathi
things that we
Gachagua
don't
is
have known.
already controlling 8 million votes. Nobody is going to run away.
You see, he goes back to the Kenya discussion.
Listen, now you see, we are talking about votes here. You see, the reason as to why.
So he only has votes in Kenya.
It's very unfortunate that I say this. The reason as to why Raila Odinga never became president is because he never got 50+1. Yes, he never got 50. You see,
is that a matter of fact?
It is a matter of fact. He never got 50+1. Yeah, of course. And you give a minute.
Wewe sema stories zingine.
Give me a minute.
Wewe sema stories zingine.
He will not get
wewe hiyo ishara ila wewe wachana nayo.
And if you
wewe sema
will not,
stories zingine
if
bwana.
you will not get,
we know in this country, we know in this country that
so he got to 50+1 and then
you know, stop being a denier. We know clearly that Mwai Kibaki denied Raila presidency. Even you deep down your heart, you know, as a journalist, populist. I know now you are occupying some high horse called DCP, and you want to pretend like Raila has never won an election in this country. He has won an election. If you are going to contribute soberly. Don't contribute like we're idiots.
50 plus 1.
Okay. So we have statistics. Why can't we just
not
check?
once.
Sorry? He never got 50 plus 1.
That is 50 plus 1, not once.
2022.
Where 50 plus 1 where
2017.
Previously, before 2013 constitution, the presidency, the president was declared on a simple majority. Sawa?
Sure.
And I wouldn't want to go into that details because
Why?
2007. You see,
why
post-election violence.
Why?
There are people who said that Raila Odinga won. Others said.
What do you think?
Kibaki,
what do you think? Raila won or didn't?
I cannot be able to.
What do you
tell.
think? I'm not asking you what was there. I'm asking what do you think?
Over
Did he win or not?
The simple majority. I may not be able to know.
Why don't you know?
So you know,
is it Kibaki or Raila? Who won?
There are people who believed Raila Odinga won, and others believe he didn't.
What do you think?
So we cannot discuss.
I'm asking you.
Issues that had context.
What do you think? Who won? I'm asking you. Who won that election? What do you think? Stop escaping, bro.
Come to 2013. After the new constitution was promulgated, it is Raila Odinga actually who proposed the 50 plus 1 in the new constitution, and since then he never managed to get there. Raila Odinga used to get 48, 47, 48 for the 3 election. 2013, 2017, and 2022.
Right?
Yes. There's a serious topic we need to discuss.
Are they feeling
they were responding to your question.
With that topic, or we move on?
No,
let's move on.
Actually, we need to move on to
I was responding to Gachagwa's
why people yes
I was responding to their sentiment that people will run away if Gachagua becomes
people will run away. You wait.
Gachagua is already
nani siweke Paul hapo. If Gachagua is declared the presidential candidate of the net opposition, how many people will you support him?
Watch Iran.
Wake up, but by the end of this thing,
watch Iran. You see, mathematically, I like being I like being practical when it comes to numbers. For you to get 50 plus 1, you need to get a few communities to support you as blocks.
And currently, how many communities are you getting? Let's do the math.
We just need one community. For us to get 50 plus 1.
You just need one community.
Mount Kenya need one community and a few here and there.
Like the Voles used
to. So you maintain.
Basically, not. You see, for you to become president, what do you do now? Okay,
so Mbudi,
you want to become president. You will not go anywhere.
Mbudi, are you challenging Kenyans today and saying
that
if all Kenyans except those from the mountain if all Kenyans except those from the mountain abstain from voting for Rigathi, he would still be president?
No, he cannot. He can't be president.
So then why do you say it just comes from one community?
No.
I wanted us to do that math with you.
I said this. You're putting words in my mouth. Why? I said we need to get to 50 plus 1. If you can allow me to do some few calculations, I'll show you why Raila Odinga never got 50 plus 1.
No, we are talking about Rigathi Gachagua getting 50 plus 1.
We need to move on to something else. Around the issue of the election date, but you said that according to you,
win the election, it's good.
Rigathi Gachagua will be supported.
He's a very serious presidential candidate. He's doing a lot of work. Even today, tomorrow, like the whole of this week will be out. Today we were in Kiambu. Tomorrow we'll be in Kajiado. We'll go back to Kiambu on Sunday. On Monday we'll be in Narok East. And then we'll go up to on Wednesday we'll be in Emurua Dikir.
So why can't you also go to Coast or such places?
But we have been there. We have been in Coast.
When are you coming to Karachuonyo?
When are you going to Karachuonyo?
Do you know
we have sent Linda Mwananchi there so that they can also
you are misinforming Kenyans about this Linda Mwananchi thing. You are really misinforming Kenyans.
No, if they feel that they can go alone, well and good. Sisi tunajipanga, kila mtu ajipange, and our party leader told us kila mtu ajipange, and then we'll communicate later.
Tutakutana baadaye.
You know the beauty that in 2028 or 2034 because I can see a possibility of us going for a referendum, which is what we want to discuss. DCP will form a post-election pact with UDA.
DCP with UDA.
Yes. If they don't want, there'll be a very good opposition party. Beautiful. Welcome to the tea.
Yeah, so Frank, we want to listen to the issue of the election date.
And that conversation was that a reading of our constitution requires that we hold our presidential and general elections in the 5th year, in August, second Tuesday of August in the 5th year. And today, the High Court of Kenya, sitting in Malindi, has affirmed that decision. This journey did not just start today. We went through a public discourse where we explained to the Kenyan people, including the IEBC, what the Constitution provides as to when presidential elections are supposed to be held. We also did draw a parallel comparison with the 2017 general elections, which were held on the second Tuesday of August in the 5th year. After this public conversation and civic education, we did file a suit in court in May 2025 before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of Kenya took time to hear our application to admit the petition, and they did come back to us and said, we don't need any permission to file a case before them, and we decided to file the case before the High Court in Malindi. The High Court in Malindi, we went on October 2025. It was over 1 year. And this interpretation of the law, the public discussion on it, the filing of the suits, gave IEBC adequate notice and invited them to interpret the Constitution and apply the law as it is. Which law, when faithfully applied, the presidential elections must be held this year on the 11th of August 2026. And that is what the court has today affirmed as the position. IEBC had erroneously moved on the premise that a president is elected to serve for 5 years, for a 5-year term.
Safina party leader, you heard him.
That's the deputy party leader, Willis Otieno.
Pardon?
The deputy party leader.
Yes, deputy
Otieno,
party leader, and the SecGen just
Bwana
left.
Joaquim, yeah.
Joaquim Simiyu, and of course it's the issue around what the Constitution says and what the ruling that was done in Malindi High Court said about election. And Article 101 of the Constitution talks about parliamentary elections, and that a general election of members of parliament is held on the second Tuesday in August every 5th year. Article 136 talks about a presidential election, whereby it says that the president is elected on the same day as the parliamentary general election, being the second Tuesday in August every 5th year, subject to the special circumstances in Article 146. And of course, members of county assembly as well as governors in different articles. So I don't know, because now we are in a dilemma, Odhiambo, as we speak right now, because some people are saying that this election should, I mean, not even some people, the court said that this election should be held, according to their calculation, should be held next week. Is it next week, the second Tuesday? So I don't know, what does the ruling mean to the elections of this country?
On this one, I find myself unworthy to speak about it from a legal standpoint. So I'll comment as a commoner.
Sure.
And the people will excuse me for this. I don't have much knowledge about it. When we talk about the 5th year of the second Tuesday of every August in the 5th year, then we can do a basic calculation of what that means. What does the 5th year mean? Does it mean after the 5th year or within the 5th year? So our first election under this constitution was in March 2022. No, 2013.
No, 2013.
In March 2013.
Under the constitution 2010,
yes,
yeah? Okay, yes.
So 2013 then becomes the first year. 2014, the second year.
Yes.
2015, the third year. 2016, the fourth year.
Yes.
And 2017, the fifth year.
Yeah.
And that is why we went ahead to do an election in 2017, August. I think 8th. Right?
Yeah.
Let's sustain the consistency. So if an election was done in August of 2017, So then 2017 becomes the first year of that government. It is not after the first year. It is the first year that they've started work. So 2017 is the first year, 2018 is the second year, 2019 is the third year, 2020 is the fourth year, and 2021 is the fifth year. That's where we erred, or that's where we erred. Because, sorry, because then we will ask ourselves an important question here, that since election was not done in the fifth year after the 2017 elections, we ended up with an illegality and we shied away from it. And that illegality made President Kenyatta enjoy one more year, an illegal year in power.
That is Kenyatta now.
Yes, that was in Kenyatta, a very illegal man from his birth.
I knew he was going to bring in Uhuru Kenyatta.
I hope you know even his birth was a fraud.
How?
It was born as part of a negotiation in Maralal in the Kenyatta house. When Mau Mau was busy fighting in the forest,
Odhiambo has a lot of political propaganda.
No, this is history.
Edging back away
This
from
is history.
Yes,
Allow me to tell you, when Mau Mau, Kikuyus, the true Kikuyus were fighting in the forest between 1958 and 1961, Uhuru was Kenyatta was removed from somewhere and brought to Maralal House, which is now called Kenyatta House, where Kenyatta was being wiped and asked to be the prime minister of Kenya, and the whites were negotiating with him how they would maintain their property, ill-gotten wealth, at the expense of the rest of the Kenya. In fact, the real Kikuyus will tell you that home guards were hated, and Kenyatta was a home guard, okay, because he was protecting the colonialists. And during that time, the wife was taken to him, and then a child was conceived. When people are fighting for freedom, unapewa bibi, conjugal rights, under house arrest. If you go to Kenyatta House, it's written, I even have the photos here, that Uhuru Kenyatta was conceived in this house when Kenyatta was under house arrest. Anyway, I've gone besides the point. So, the man was a fraud. And so 2021, 2022...
I don't think there's any fraud there anyway. Continue.
He was a fraud. I mean...
There's no fraud there.
There's a lot of fraud. Are you denying that that Kenyatta was under house arrest?
I'm not denying that.
And when you're under house arrest, you should not be enjoying particular rights.
I thought aren't prisoners also allowed?
They have their.
Do you have a prisoner in prison now? Can you ask him if they enjoy conjugal rights?
They are supposed to. I think there's a petition, by the way.
Where?
They're supposed to enjoy conjugal rights.
Where?
There's some.
Where in law? Where in law? Anyway, just check. Just Google.
I am sure
there's nothing like that. We will be having children gotten from prison. Anyway, so 2021-2022 was an illegal year, and we kept quiet. Of course, people are waiting for leadership, and nobody would want to go against a president like Uhuru Kenyatta back then. Okay, now somebody brilliant stands and says, you know what? Actually, we are wrong. We should be holding elections in 2026 and not in 2027, and that is true. And the judge says, in strict conformity with the law, the judge cannot determine the date of election. They cannot. The issue of an election sits strictly within the dictates of the Constitution and is clearly defined how that happens. That is in the second Tuesday in the fifth year, not after the fifth year. Now that underscored, we go to the most important question. How do we move forward from here? The judges cannot do anything. The only thing is either this goes to the Supreme Court for an interpretation, not an enforcement of an order, for an interpretation that what then should we do? Because then naturally they will go to Court of Appeal, then to go to Supreme Court. It takes a lot of time. The only way out, in my view, is a referendum.
And I heard you start talking about the
and I'll tell you how a referendum comes to be. Because it is politics now versus the law.
Yes.
And this is where when politics is in clash or is in competition with the law, then it is taken to the people to decide, because the people are the owner of the power, both owned by the law or as dictated by the law, and the politicians. So now, under Article 255, in terms of the amendment of the Constitution, there are things which cannot be described by, or ascribed, or prescribed by lawyers and advocates and judges. These things, even Parliament cannot just do them by way of amendment. They must go to the people. One of them, supremacy of the Constitution. If you want to talk about the Constitution being subservient or being the supreme law or changing something about it that is critical in terms of its supremacy, you must go to the people. Two is the territory of Kenya. If you want to change an inch of the borders of Kenya, an inch, you have to go and conduct a referendum.
Yeah.
Sovereignty of the people of Kenya. Remember, Kenyans are the sovereign. That's why we have a president, a premium resident, or a presiding resident. I would put it in any manner that I want to put it, yeah? Then national values and principles of governance, Article 10, 2A up to D. The Bill of Rights, the fifth issue, that you have to go back to the people. If you want to say that, for example, that the right to life can be changed or can be tinkered with to give a person XY the capability of kunyonga watu, you know? Like now, you know, you cannot just kill people, the moratorium or whatever, yeah. Then you go to number 6, which is the center of our discussion, and that is term of office of the president. Since there's a quagmire that the courts are disallowed to determine the date of the election, and the politics of the day, especially the regime, would say that no, we cannot live today. Our term is not yet over. And they can argue that forever. They will not allow themselves to leave power. That is true. The people are also divided here, because the people are saying they should be finishing the fifth year.
Yes.
And there are others who are saying, oh, it should be this time. So what do we do then? We have to take this question to the people to determine the term of the president and redefine that question, because there is nowhere in the laws of Kenya where it is said that a president shall serve a 5-year term. There's nowhere. If there is a place it is written, show me in the Constitution. The catch comes in where the law says that elections of an MP, MCA, whatever these others, will be done in the 5th year. So we must go then, there's a lacuna in law. We must go then to the people and have a question that must be presented to the people. And we ask the people, should the president serve 5-year term, or should the president serve 4-year term? Because what we have as current, in many people's minds, is that then the president is serving a 4.5-year term. So we must change that and define it clearly and strictly in law. Where does that take us? That means there's no election next year. In short, not this year, there's no election next year, because we have to have a referendum about this.
So
we are already past sell-by date.
That means President William Ruto
is serving. He's just going to serve. Unfortunately, that is the law. He's just going to serve until we go into a referendum. Now, that referendum then, what does the referendum mean? Will it say that now Ruto has served, needs to go home? No. At that time, then the law will prescribe through that referendum that we are going to hold an election after how many days post the referendum. That must also be a question that is presented to the people alongside this other one. Because we are defining the election day. And that election day, as is in the Constitution, can only be changed by the people. And I see that as a possible question that we are headed to. If not that, and if we head to 2027 and an election 2027, it will be an illegality according to the court. The court has already pronounced itself. Unless it is changed. And by the way, perhaps, IBC's hands are now tied legally. Unless this ruling is set aside. Because the judge has said she has suspended the ruling to avoid chaos and what. But what is supreme?
It will be very chaotic.
What is supreme?
I should know.
What is supreme in this land?
What do you mean by chaotic?
It will be very chaotic. We cannot allow. There will be election next year. There must be election. This is a question that don't start yesterday. It started in 2021, and I'm seeing here Mungai Ihanya he actually said that the Zamba Kitonga committee team of experts on the constitution were in a hurry by writing the first article where they said a general election of member of parliament shall be held on the second Tuesday in August in every 5th year. It was ambiguous. They didn't explain properly. And he has done a lot of calculation here on the 2017-2022 year. And he says the elections for 2022 were supposed to be done in 2021. So it started way back. And again, we had elections in 2022. So we can actually use the same to say that the 2022 election was illegal.
Yes.
It was illegal. That's the truth.
So I wish we had a legal expert here, because then I would want to, there are questions that I would want to ask. For example, if we're saying that the 2022 elections were illegal, does it mean we have a president that is illegal?
Yes.
Does it mean that we should not recognize any of the agreements that have been signed and agreed on by an illegal president? What does that mean for us as a country?
Just that now, okay, sorry.
Again, I can add you, then you can continue. In 2020, Justice Maraga advised the president to dissolve the parliament,
and he did not.
And he didn't.
So I am seeing a repeated, I'm seeing a pattern, Tricia, where the courts are making a declaration, don't want to enforce it because they don't want to be on the wrong side of politics. The courts make a declaration, but they don't want to follow through. If you look at what he's saying, if you're talking about correcting the illegality, I strongly feel, or rather, I would also ask, does it mean that the previous presidents can then come back and vie under this new constitution? Does it mean that this president who will have served beyond what Kenyans have thought, because it's then a political thought, that the others have served for 4.5 to 5 years. This one will have served for 7 years because of the question of referendum. What does that mean for the previous ones? Holding a referendum currently, when we have such high political temperatures, could be very dangerous because of one particular issue, the presidential term limit. We had Cherargei try and introduce the discussion of the presidential term limit.
I remember, yes.
We have had, right now, Hilary Sigei, senator, is also bringing the conversation of a referendum. He is allied to the current president. So Kenyans are asking themselves, this issue of this referendum, they are blocking out every other sensible or unsensible conversation around the referendum, because it is then going to be centered around that issue of the presidential term, the presidential term limit, and the number of years that the president should serve. We've seen a number of them saying that the president should serve for 7 years. We've seen people saying that we should scrap the presidential term limit. And a lot of Kenyans have been worried, right from when we had the 2023 protests, a lot of Kenyans have been worried that William Samoei Ruto will scrap off the presidential term limit and serve like Museveni. So when we have the conversation of a referendum now, when the political temperatures in this country are that high, I think for me it would send the country into more chaos than this judgment will. Mbudhi was asking why. I would want to see IEBC successfully plan elections for 47 counties within a weekend. That we've seen the kind of chaos that happens, yet they've had 5 years. Remember, this is a new commission as well. A commission that is doing everything possible to show that they are different. They've been saying, give us a chance, allow us, we are different. So they have a lot that they want to prove, and we are telling them to do it over a weekend. It's definitely not possible. However, I don't support, even with all the legal questions that I have, I don't support the pushing of the elections beyond next year. And I also don't support it being suspended, because we keep on encouraging a culture where declarations are made, not enforced. People can always find a way to go around it, which is a very bad and dangerous precedent that we're setting.
So somebody's asking, I think it's Ida Barak is asking, what does it mean for Ruto? Can he rule with the same powers, or are they restricted now that his term expires? And there's also somebody who is also asking, Kevin Wanyonyi, saying, at this point, sina budi ila kuuliza, what's the work of the AG?
Yeah, the AG unfortunately is an appendage of the executive. The AG office should be an independent office out of the cabinet, but sits in the cabinet. I don't know if you get my point. It should be an independent body, should be an independent office, a constitutional office that sits within cabinet to advise the cabinet. But as long as the AG is an appointee of the president, then you don't expect your appointee to misadvise you. Misadvise could also be in quotes, okay? Of course, the problem here is not with Ruto. The problem here is with who messed us. Who? Uhuru Kenyatta.
Well,
no.
you know, somebody
No,
he say.
I don't think so.
I'm saying this
yes.
because he knew that his term was ending in 2021.
But he
but
actually
consciously decided to rule up to 2022. Consciously, not subconsciously.
But remember, we are counting from 2013. Not,
Yes.
not, it was not 10 year. It was, he was supposed to, the election was supposed to be to
happen in 2021.
2016. No, the first, between 2013 to 2017. It was supposed to happen in 2016.
26th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was,
actually
yes.
it is.
It's 2016, not
That
2016.
2016 would have been the fourth year.
But yes, somebody
2017 is
ameandika
correct.
from 2013. Hawezi anza from
No,
2017.
imeanza kuharibika from 2022.
2022 ndio imeanza
Because the
kuharibika.
2017 election was right on
Now
time.
can we start it right?
Okay, let me start it right.
Count it, yes.
Let me start it right. Let's count. 2013 is the first year.
Yes.
Because it was in March.
Yes.
March 2013.
Yes.
So
Please
the
don't
next
start
year.
counting in August because the
It's
election was
okay.
done in March.
It's okay.
So 2013 is
Yes.
year 1. 2014
March.
year 2.
2015 year 3 March.
2016 year
4 March.
2017
Yeah.
year 5.
That is in March.
That is in March. But the constitution says that the election is done in the second Tuesday
of
of the August in the fifth, not after.
In the fifth year.
In the fifth year.
Yes, yes.
So then
Which was
2017 tick.
We did it in
Yes,
in
yes.
August, yes.
Okay, so let's start counting. 2017 then becomes the first year. Because it is in August. It is not at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So 2017 year 1, 2018 year 2, 2019 year 3, 2020 year 4, 2021 year 5. The election ought to be done
in 2021.
In 2021. Uhuru knew this,
but let me ask you.
consciously decided not to
I want
introduce even the question of, and most Kenyans, of course, seemingly were
I
not
remember
aware.
there was that conversation happening that time.
And
You
there's a
remember?
gentleman who went to court already.
Yes, that time there was
That's
a
actually what I'm
conversation.
referring
Yes.
to.
That gentleman went to court.
Yes, yes.
And the ruling came out now clearly just the other day. Okay? Which is fine. So what I'm saying is, the person who messed us up is not Ruto. It is Uhuru. I don't hate him.
God.
It is just the fact.
Look here.
It is just the fact.
Again.
Brad, somebody actually somebody is saying that you have some hate.
I have a lot of hate against Uhuru Kenyatta.
Against Uhuru
If I were the
Kenyatta.
president,
Yes.
he would be in jail today. Be sure.
But
a lot of
again-
hate.
but again-
If they want to
And
call it
William
that.
Ruto would not.
Why are you taking it personal?
Very personal.
And
Somebody
also
who
Kenyans.
says- somebody who says the future of our children.
And William Ruto has not done that.
William Ruto
Don't you
cannot
think
do
the
it.
two are birds of a feather?
He cannot do it. Why should he do it? Because he will set a precedence. Mimi, I will do it. Uhuru Kenyatta, jail. Francisca Bal, jail.
Buthia, you wanted to respond.
You see,
Please do.
he's getting out of the topic, but it's
No, I'm not out of the topic. Just continue.
it's okay. According to Ihanya, who was presenting this, he's the one who started the calculation. In fact, here he says, let's count together like little children.
Yes.
Says the second, yeah, that's what he said actually. The same way we have calculated here.
Yes.
The second, the first year, which was supposed to run from 8th August 2017 to 8th August 2028, August to August. The second from 8th to 7th, the third from 8th 2019 to 7th August 2020. The fourth was from 8th August 2020 to 7th August 2021. So election was not supposed to happen in 2021. It was supposed to happen on 7th of August 2022, but 7th of August 2022 was on Sunday. So we move it to the second Tuesday in August 2022, which was on 9th. But unfortunately now, that is where the problem is. It is outside the 5-year limit.
Exactly. And nobody talks about a 5-year term.
So now,
how did we
now
get
the
here?
president right now, Ruto, should also go for
Yes,
6 years.
Exactly.
Is that what you say?
No, it should continue with where the calculation
Because
starts.
the trend was set by
the calculation,
Uhuru. Yes.
the calculation, Ruto is within his term.
Yeah, sure.
Up to 2027.
Up to 2026 is within his term. Let's count. He came into office in 2022. So 2022 becomes his first year.
Yeah.
2023, second year.
Yeah.
2024, third year. 2025, 2026 is his fifth year. So he's right within his term.
Yeah.
That his term should ideally expire on Tuesday next week.
Yeah.
Ideally. And that's what I'm saying. It's a legal quagmire and a political quagmire. We have to go back to the people who are the sovereign. To decide.
That buys time. You know, it's interesting.
So what do we do? Do we just and install person X?
IEBC, if I were asked, I don't know what the legal procedures around this would be, but if I were asked, the courts should enforce this. Then IEBC, acknowledging the chaos, of course, should request that instead of it happening a Tuesday of next week, let them ask for a month's extension or so.
Then we vote.
Because a whole extra year of William Samoei Ruto's government is terror. Odiamo, you're making me.
Which you say is illegal. Look here, which according to the court is illegal now.
Exactly. Already he's an illegal president.
Yeah.
Then you want to add him an extra year.
You say from next week.
Relax.
By the way, I have to calculate again. So William Ruto is going for 6 years. If we go by the
I think the
next
courts
year.
need. I think the courts need to save the people.
Unfortunately, the courts
need to
the courts can't
enforce.
decide
William
this.
alikuwa amenyamazia tu hivi akijua next year ako illegal, an illegal president. The whole of next year.
Doing a referendum is the only solution.
The whole of next
Tupeleke
year.
referendum.
I think
Ako
enforcing it is the best way to correct it.
How do you enforce?
But Ruth, do you think, how about the preparation for this election? Because
can't
it's not,
happen in 6 days.
it's
No,
not
we
just
agree to
something that...
disagree. It is our constitution.
We can just wake up and say, Kenyans, let's go and vote.
We agree. It is our constitution.
How do Kenyans agree in such a question?
See, Kenyans will be told now we have elections next week.
The constitution is clear about it. The constitution tells us in Article 255 that of the 10 questions you can take to referendum, one of them, number 6, is the term of the president. And in this case, I've said here clearly that the term of the president is in question.
Yes.
Because we are not sure whether the president is having a 5-year term or a 4-year term or a 6-year term. And sometimes it is important to listen to sometimes it's important to listen to madmen like Cherargei. I think so. Because some madmen will always talk sense, just like the drunkards at home. They will tell you something and you'll dismiss them, but then later you realize, oh, by the way, perhaps this guy had a point. So the only way to resolve this question, grandstanding won't help, because the courts are not allowed to determine the date of an election. It's already there in the constitution.
Yeah.
The question that we're fighting on here, which is valid, is what is the term of the president? It is not there in law.
Actually,
it is not there.
Actually, somebody is saying that if it is about a 5-year term, then election is August 2027. But if it's about within the 50th year, then it is 2026.
My question, Odhiambo, is the president's term in question, or is the election, because our system, we elect the word has escaped from my mind, but we elect all the 6 seats in one election
on the same day. Yes.
And so when we start to put the presidential seat on a different pedestal from these other 5, what are we essentially saying? That we want to change our election system altogether.
We should.
But we are also encouraging some sort of loose enforcement and some... We are telling people that there is always a way around the court's pronouncements, which to me is the most dangerous. Because if tomorrow our courts arrest a terrorist, a proper terrorist, leave the young people that William Samoei Ruto is labeling as terrorists, I mean an actual terrorist, right? It means we are saying that there can also be a way around that.
Of course, there's a way.
Which should not be the case.
No, it is the case. Article 142.
We cannot encourage.
Article 142 just remove Ruto from the presidency and let's look at the presidency objectively, okay? Because someday you will also be a president in this country, or you will want to be. Of course, it's possible. If the son of a chicken seller became a president and a prince from Gatundu became a president, this world anything can happen. And I look forward to either you or your
and
child.
That one I agree with you.
You know, Article 142 explicitly mandates, and Kenyans, I want to beg you to just open the Constitution or Google with me. Because these things are on Google.
We are there, yes.
Article 142 of the Constitution, it dictates clearly that the term of a president starts upon taking the oath of office. And it ends, remember that, when the next person elected as president is sworn into office.
Yes.
It is not on calendar date. There's no calendar date that says that the president terms begins on this day and ends on this day. It says it starts when they take oath and ends when another president does what? Takes the oath.
Which also opens it up for a coup.
But the other
the coups, yes. The whatever, in fact, leave alone even the coup. Let's go to when Kenya is in war. Do you know that if Kenya today goes to war, Parliament is allowed to extend the term of the president by 6 months upon review?
True. Very true, yeah. Sure.
Okay? So let's say we just start a war with who? I don't know. We can pick somebody who's weak.
We are not. We are not.
Hypothetically, let's say we pick a war in the ocean. We are fighting for some blocks, 2 blocks. It's not even a war being fought here, but just war somewhere in the ocean there. And it's serious, and it becomes a serious issue because once the media frames it as serious, it becomes serious. Parliament sits and says, you know what, extend by 6 months. Extend by 6 months. That's what I'm saying. The law is not clear on the term of the president. And that is what has to change. That means when we go for that referendum, which we must go to, and people needed to have listened to Raila Odinga with these midterm questions. Once we go to that referendum, some of the things that will change is including plus Article 142. Because now it will clearly mandate that a presidential term begins upon swearing in and ends at the 5th year of. So that between the time that your term has lapsed and the next swearing in, you're a lame duck president. Like in America, there's a lame duck period.
Yes, yes.
It is known in America that January 20th, or is it February?
Yeah,
January 20th.
January,
there must be an inauguration of a new president. So between the time the president is declared
there's like
and the time a swearing in happens, it's a lame duck presidency, which means you can't appoint judges of the Supreme Court, you can't appoint independent commissioners, etc. Okay? So that is the only prescription that we have in law, and our constitution is self-curing. On one side, it leaves a lacuna, but you look back kidogo, just a few, or you look forward, because 142 says these things, you look at 255 and 256, it clearly gives the cure that since there is no setting clearly in the presidency in terms of term limit, 255 gives the people of Kenya the power to now hold a referendum and set straight the term of the president. Because today, if anything happens in these things I call consequential circumstances, then we will have to move to consequential deliberations in Parliament on how then to hold the next election.
How do you then read with Article 101? That says a general election of Member of Parliament shall be held on the 2nd Tuesday in August in every 5th year.
Yes, and that's what people are hanging on to. But you see, in terms of the term of the president, it is clear in Article 142 when it begins and when it ends. What does not tell us is the calendar date.
You know, I like that Odhiambo has used the example of the US. We need to be careful as Kenyans to use what works for us, not borrow necessarily from. While we would want to borrow from other nations, we must be careful to use what works for us. I want to give an example that I'm sure Brian is well known to. Where I come from, there is when musicians are entertaining us, you have a segment where you will go and give 100 shillings to start or stop a song. So your money starts when your money starts when you give it and the song is played, and your track that you've requested for stops when someone else gives money. So Trisha, if you give 100 shillings and your song starts and after just one sentence I give money, your song has stopped.
True.
But that, be that as it may, the rules of that entertainment segment is very clear. It does not say it needs to go for 3 minutes or 5 minutes, but it is clear that it stops when the next money is given.
Yes.
Similarly, it states in our constitution, as you have read it, that your term as president ends when the next person is sworn in. And it doesn't tell us whether it is in 5 years, 4 years, or 6 years. We are trying to force a Western culture onto ourselves. If our constitution says it starts at this time and stops when the next person is sworn in, and we know that there is an election that is supposed to happen before someone is sworn in, what is the danger of living with that instruction as given? What is the danger of living with it as it is? For me, and I'm really struggling, again, in all transparency, I'm really struggling to separate right now the presidency, discussion of the presidential term limit, away from William Ruto, because it is his cronies that have been bringing this conversation. Right? Right from when he was sworn in, this is a man who knew that before my term ends, I must make sure that I extend it. So it is difficult to see that as a move to align our constitution, as a move to correct some vagueness that has been there over time. That's why for me, I still insist that clause as written, and maybe the advocates of the High Court can correct me. That phrase as it is written can work for us only if we look at ourselves as Kenyans and not trying to enforce some Western culture on ourselves.
Okay.
And that's why I still insist. IBC might not be able to hold an election next week, but can they request for a period before August? They say, yes, we are aware that it needs to happen on this Tuesday. However, it is not possible, and we also know that we cannot wait until next year, August. So we are asking for this. We are asking Parliament to extend by 6 months, so that then, or by X number of months, so that then we have this election in December. It gives us enough time to prepare. Okay. We start correcting it.
You don't want the issue.
Remember what happened during COVID? The school calendar was changed, but we didn't have to miss school for a whole year for the calendar to come back to the way it was. We've got examples that work for us. Let's not make things difficult. Let's not try and westernize what is working for us.
Maybe I can ask a question to Odhiambo. You can respond all together. How did the IBC come up with this August 10, 2027 election? Of course,
because
they are the one who said
because it's the second Tuesday of 2027.
Just like that, without calculating, without nothing.
Just like that, because you see.
But I feel there is a calculation.
The clash comes in at this point.
Yes.
The clash comes in at this point. I want to read for you.
This is the 6th year.
No.
I want to read for you where the clash comes in. The clash comes in Article 136(2), read together with the Article 142. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's read Article 136(2). It says that it says that a presidential election must be held on the same day as a general election,
yes,
of members of parliament, being the second Tuesday in August in every 5th year.
Yes.
In every 5th year, not after every 5 years. Simple English, but very difficult.
In the 5th year.
Within.
Ndani.
In that 5th year.
Not after. Inje. In every 5th year. Ndani ya 5th year. The election of MPs. In fact,
I see you guys are confusing me further
in fact,
yes.
If you look at this thing properly, you will find that even MPs should not serve for 5 years.
Yeah, definitely.
They should serve for 4 years. They only have an extension of a few months to be within
8 months.
About 8 months, yeah, to be within the 5th year.
Because MPs in US
not to be outside the 5th year. So, look, this thing is the only legal way to solve it.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
I just want to do this as a layman. 2022, we did an election in August
10th.
Mm.
Yes.
So now the president's time, when was the president sworn in?
The president was sworn in about, was it
After
September
14
or
days,
thereabout? September?
Yeah, September.
Yeah.
September.
Somewhere
So that
13th
is
or
when
September 14th.
his first year started. September 2022 to September 2023, right?
No, September 2022 1.
No. Let's count manually. September 2022 to September 2023,
No.
1.
Let me
To August 2023.
No. Let me take you somewhere.
2022 is 1 year because he was not sworn in December.
This
He was sworn
question,
in September.
This question takes us to the question of life. Allow me to use that example. When you conceive, you're a mother, right?
Yes.
When you conceive, when do you start counting the life of the child? Upon conception or after birth?
Others count after birth.
But how should you ideally count?
Depends with where you're coming from.
Me, actually, kitambo, I thought you were supposed to count from when you conceive.
May I count from when you conceive? Because
That
life has
baby
begun.
started. Yeah, the life has started
A
actually.
child is a day old.
A child is even hours old.
Yeah.
So usiwezi sema ati mtoto wangu
So the
ako
first,
started
so
day
the
one.
first year of the presidency
Yeah.
starts from when he's sworn in.
But
He's already serving his
September.
first year.
Yes. That is year 1.
He's already serving his first year.
To what time? To when?
Up to
Fifth.
up to within the fifth year.
year.
Within, not after. Unajua hiyo ni kizungu matini.
No, ni kizungu kidogo lakini sasa you know why I'm saying so because I maybe this was my interpretation that a year that is a year when we are talking about the year we are not talking the general year that we talk about it is from that time when you've been sworn in
to another.
you take your 12 months so to that other year that is now when the second year starts.
Yes.
So that was my counting, like from 2022 September to 2023 September, year 1, 2023 September to 2024 September.
That is
so
wrong,
I think that is
wrong
what
counting.
That is what IEBC used. That is what IEBC used because that's their counting because
And-
they are assuming that. I mean, I'm assuming that they felt like this 2022. It is all the way to 2023. That is when you will do this one year.
But even if you use that calculation, let's go by that.
Yeah,
Sio?
it is working.
Let's use that calculation.
Yes.
2022
September.
to 2023 September,
Yes.
year 1.
Yes.
2023 September, 2024 year
Year
2. 2024 September, 2025 September,
Year
year
3.
2025 September to 2026 September,
Year 4.
year 4.
Yes.
2026 September
To 2027
is year
that
5.
is now the year 5.
That's what they
Year
used.
5.
That's
So-
what I'm saying.
So,
Yeah.
so they're saying we use that one on the 5th year after,
Yes.
and that's the problem.
No,
Because-
it is within. The August will be
No,
still
no, no.
within the 5th
It's-
year.
It's not within. It's within according to their math.
Yes.
But according to the math, the actual math that you're having a quagmire about is that when does life begin? Like I can say here confidently, all of us are celebrating fraudulent birthdays.
True.
We should be celebrating a year older. Like right now, I don't know how old you are or you are, but you are a year older.
Kuna 9 months.
Kuna nine months zingine hapo inapotea. Eh.
Well, if a child is born in September of 2000, they cannot say that in 2026 they are turning 26
Yeah.
in September.
No.
Because that September they are starting their 27th
7th
year.
year. So they're turning 27.
Yes.
Okay, but I'm just saying that might have been the thinking of IEBC
And
according to the
so the
calculation. And I'm
prescription-
telling you that
Yeah.
That might not be their
They are going to
thinking.
do
They
an
knew what they
appeal.
were doing.
They'll do an appeal, of course.
there will be an
But
appeal.
the judgment is
Yes.
suspended. I don't know what that means. Allah needs to tell us. But my thinking is this. Because we're going to have a real political heat around this question. And so many, it's going to open a floodgate of legal cases going to court shortly. What the political class must do is they must have a bipartisan approach to this question and sort this issue, because whoever is elected president will still deal with this issue again.
Yeah.
We need to sort it once and for all. And the only way, the constitution has told us, let's go for a referendum.
Yeah,
and there's so many questions we need to go
can actually
for
go
referendum.
referendum
with.
alongside the general election in 2027, so that we agree by the
No,
way.
we need to do it before 2027.
We cannot have a referendum at the moment.
We
It's not
can.
possible.
We can.
Not under William Ruto's regime.
Why not? You're afraid. What are you afraid of?
He is the one who he is the one who is afraid.
No, are you afraid of a referendum? You're not afraid.
For me,
Yeah.
I would say Yes, I am afraid of a referendum.
Why
For
are
the
you
reasons
afraid?
that I gave. That one, the political temperatures right now are very high. Two, in my understanding as a layman, as a common mananchi, what a referendum communicates to me, especially after Cherargei and Senator Sigei have pulled the things they are pulling, to me it signals something crafty that the current president is doing. And so I cannot imagine that he is going to sneak in the possibility of him serving for 8 years under a new constitution.
No,
I
he
cannot
will
imagine.
not serve for 8 years. We'll just go for referendum, then this question will be sorted.
Yeah, where
So,
he will
I mean,
push to serve that.
William
He will
Ruto has no
push-
capacity
he will
to
actually
initiate
push
a
to
referendum
remove
at the moment.
No, he will not. He will not.
So let me
He will
ask
not. He
you,
will not.
He
He will
will
not.
push
Look,
to remove
look,
the term
you know,
how
you know
long
the
do you
beauty-
think it will take us to do and
referendum?
and the cost? Yes.
That is easy. That's easy
And
to
we have
calculate.
the
See,
money.
under William
We
Ruto,
don't have
So
the
I'm
money.
asking,
Yes,
yes,
we don't have the
yes.
they
money.
will do away with this referendum. It won't work.
No, it will
Kenyans
work.
are angry and they are very angry.
It
with
will
this
work.
administration.
Central
so
Kenya is
anything
angry
that
is
comes
understandable.
with it is done. Anything that comes with it.
You know.
No, you see, you cannot say Central Kenya. You will just accept
Central
our
Kenya is
own.
I was
angry.
asking
Just
how
guaranteed.
long it will take and the cost that is involved.
Ushaogopa, bro.
We don't have the budget as a country.
We have the budget. We can
Yeah,
do it.
we have the budget.
No,
We are
Kenya is
there.
rich.
Yes.
What should be our
Can I
priority,
tell you?
referendum or education?
Can I tell you, for
No, it's
example,
not even
no, referendum is more
the
important than
president is
education.
not even greedy. He
I'll
cannot.
tell you why.
At the moment, he's
I'll tell-
campaigning.
I'll tell you
He's
why.
campaigning for referendum. He's campaigning for the next year's election. And William Ruto knew, he knows, he has intelligence. He knew this is what was going to come. But he's campaigning at the moment. So he's prepared for the next year's general election. So
Okay.
I don't think,
I think the
maybe
elections should go on, but before next
we can
year.
as well
Well,
do
you want
referendum
the
alongside
the election this year.
Yes, before next year. I
There's-
cannot
there's-
imagine that this
there's-
gentleman is going to
I can
remove
tell
the term
you-
limit. That is my biggest
I can
worry.
tell you, there's no way
Mm.
we are going to have
Don't worry.
election before next year. That I can tell you. There's no way that can't happen.
So we should
What
continue
must
with the
happen
illegality,
first?
yeah?
It is an illegality, and that's what I'm saying. This illegality is beyond the court. This illegality is only being taken back to wananchi to decide, because the constitution is not clear
That is
on
how
the term.
Brian has chosen to interpret it.
Of
That
course,
is
interpretation
how
is a
it
whole
chosen
thing
to-
in school of law. But I'm choosing to say, okay, you ask a question, let me answer you. So if you look at Article 257 of the Constitution, okay?
Yeah.
It talks about popular initiative. So one, there's the parliamentary initiative under Article 256, which takes 6 to 9 months. Okay, let's go and calculate so that you see. Referendum must be done. Must be done. If you want to solve this issue, referendum, no msiogope. When a proposed amendment originates within Parliament under Article 256, okay, the constitutional timeline follows is fixed as follows. There's a mandatory 90 days waiting period. After the bill receives the first reading in either House of Parliament, either the Senate or the National Assembly, it cannot be called for a second reading, at least for 90 days. So if it is done tomorrow or Monday, wait for 90 days. And I suspect that is something that could be already being done somewhere.
Zero. William
This
Ruto is
window-
talking about 2016.
This window
Vision 2016,
is
not referendum.
reserved for publicizing the bill and conducting public participation. 2, parliamentary passage takes 1 to 3 months. The bill must pass second and third readings in both the National Assembly and the Senate by a super majority of at least 2/3 of all members in each house.
Yes.
Number 3, then a presidential directive happens. That once passed, the speakers will jointly pass this bill to the president if it touches on Articles 255(1), okay, protected matters, and that is under number 6, the presidential term limit. So, the president then requests the Electoral Commission to conduct a referendum. The president, we gave him too much power. That's what I've always said. We must go for a parliamentary system in the future. We must. Okay? Referendum execution happens within 90 days. Article 256(5)(a) says that the IEBC must conduct the national referendum within 90 days of receiving the directive from the president, not from parliament. Okay? Certification and assent, 30 days. If approved by the voters, the IEBC chairperson certifies the results and the president assents to and publishes the law within 30 days. So, technically,
how many days have you calculated?
Technically,
yes.
2027 August, if we move with speed, and I just to move with a lot of speed, we will be doing a referendum.
2027
August. We must first sit for the referendum before we talk about the election. Unfortunately,
but it's not possible.
It is possible. I want you to have the possibility.
Brian has broken down the months, the days. 90 days.
That's under Article 256. Now I'm going to Article 257.
90. You've done 450 days, right?
So that is under Article 256. Now can I go to under Article 257 because there are two routes.
On 10th August, we are going into the election year.
Under Article 257, it will take between 12 to 18 months.
We cannot go to a
referendum
because of a question.
When an amendment originates from citizens, and by the way, it should come from citizens.
Yes.
And I urge DCP to start it because they're the ones who want to get into the house. The earlier they do it, the better.
But you can also do it. Odhiambo.
You know, BBI was rejected because it was started by the state. It needs to be started by DCP. This one.
So there's someone here who is saying, Odhiambo, you should desist from the rhetoric of extending term limits through back door. When it favors, he's saying that when
it's talking about here,
there's no term limit here.
If you listen to this comment, it goes
just
back
listen
to what
to
I was saying.
Yes. So what you're saying is
they must disengage their minds from Ruto as a president and look at the presidency. Look, God forbid, this could sound treasonous, may I be forgiven. Anything will happen to the president today. What happens?
Both they are happy.
But
what happens?
There's no treason.
What happens? Imagining the death of a president is treasonous. I hope you know that. So,
but what should happen?
So when that happens,
yes,
Kindiki takes over. Sindio?
Yes.
And he serves the remaining part of the term of a what? Have we cured the issue? Yes, Kindiki is a Kikuyu. Will Kikuyus be happy? Of course. But have we cured the issue?
I didn't expect that's where you were heading.
You get the drift.
But anyway, that was a comment. Yes.
Of course, I get because they're subjecting.
Somebody is asking a pertinent question here. Yes. They're asking, what will be the referendum question?
Good.
Please tell us.
Thank you. So I've said, now let me come to Article 257. I'm going to answer that.
The 12 to 18 months.
12 to 18 months.
Yes, Barack.
Okay? So when an amendment originates from the people, that means outside parliament, and I urge DCP to do this. Because
don't fall into that trap.
DCP is not a people.
They are a very, they are the most popular opposition party today, right? Apart from Linda Mwananchi, which is not a party yet. Under Article 57, the process includes extensive pre-parliamentary checks outlining the Parliament of Kenya referendum framework. Number one, signature collection and verification, which will take 2 to 4 months. The promoters must collect at least 1 million signatures from registered voters. The draft bill and signatures are submitted to the IEBC, which verifies voter eligibility. Okay? This can be done within 2 days because DCP has over 10 million supporters.
They can do it over
2 days. Sawa. And then the draft bill. Linda Mwananchi is also having millions of people. They can do this very quick. Okay? Then, county assembly approvals. Up to 3 months. Upon verification, that's IEBC has verified these signatures. The IEBC submits the draft bill to all the 47 county assemblies. County assemblies have up to 3 months to consider it.
3 months.
At least 24 counties must approve the bill for it to proceed. DCP already has how many county assemblies? How many counties do you have in Kenya?
Murima.
Murima. Twende na nyinyi kwanza.
Mlisema sisi hatuwezi kuwa.
No, I'm giving you the power.
I don't have the answer to that question.
Yeah, so I'm giving you the power you don't even want. Anyway, so DCP,
but it's taking me to a very long route. I don't know. I don't want to go to that route.
But unfortunately, it's the law. The law is an ass, bro. You gotta wait. so Central Kenya quickly passes, yeah. Then the Linda Mwananchi conversant assemblies, they can take 2 days only. It is not a must that it has to take 3 months. So long as 24 have passed, it's good. You can proceed because already you are above the.
You have been asking the referendum question.
I'm still going ahead. Calm down. This is the only route to the presidency.
Give us the question because of time.
Parliament consideration.
Yes.
Parliament is then allowed to take 2 to 3 months. If approved by majority of counties, the bill is introduced in Parliament. Parliament publicizes the bill and votes on it. referendum trigger and vote 90 days, regardless of whether Parliament passes or rejects a popular initiative that touches Article 255(1) matters. The proposed amendment is submitted to a national referendum. The IEBC must conduct the vote within 90 days of the presidential proclamation. Kenyans, this is the reality we're living with.
And Kenyans, I wish the institutions involved and the government apologists and the government enthusiasts would listen to the fears of Kenyans. And Kenyans are saying, if you listen to the first one that you read, calculating it is giving me 450 days. That is well over a month, slightly over a year, sorry. So what you're telling me is I'm going to live in terror of 001 for another year while the referendum is being done, then another year for an election to happen. Yet, I'm also worried, on top of these 2 years, there is a concern hanging over my head, about him scrapping off the term limit. If you speak to Kenyans, one of the reasons they are concerned about the referendum is because of the current president. It is very difficult to separate the president, the president now from the presidency, because that is the reality that Kenyans are living in. There are certain realities that they have been forced into by the current government that is making it very, very difficult to think objectively. At the same time, the courts always take into consideration the good faith. They give the judgments in good faith. And in this particular instant, would it be in good faith? Would it be for the betterment of Kenyans to have a referendum at this point in time, Brian?
It is important.
Would it be? And why? And you've not answered my question on the calendar. When we had COVID, we had an issue with our education calendar, but we fixed it. Right?
Yes.
Why can't we do the same without going through a referendum now?
We can fix it very fast.
Without going through a referendum?
No, we have to go through a referendum. And this, I don't know why you are refusing this referendum path.
Why?
It is the most beautiful thing for you, even as the people who want to remove Ruto from power. Because it's a popular initiative. Popular. By the people, for the people, with the people.
Why are you afraid
of the chance
of it?
You have the chance to say, if he introduces an extension of the term limit, you say no.
So we would have. This is a thing, and I can't stress this enough. If there is a less expensive method of correcting this irregularity, why are we running to the expensive one, which is the referendum?
We've not run out of money. Why do you think Kenya is broke?
Why do I think Kenya is broke?
Yeah.
Look at the
how much is an election? An election is 10 billion shillings.
Odiambo, you know currently we are operating operating below our budget.
Because
the money we have.
So we have some few minutes to receive some calls, 2 or 3. So guys, you can look for the number that is on the screen. You can give us a call if you have any comment, any submission that you want to add on this conversation. You're welcome.
Tisha, as you wait for the callers,
yes,
we have a less expensive route. 1, 2. Kenyans have said they are not comfortable with the referendum. Why do you want to push it?
Which Kenyan has said?
Can you put that poll that Odiambo was talking about?
I asked, they never put it.
If you look at the comment section right now, Odiambo, they are saying that we don't want this thing.
Where? I am here on the comments. You guys don't want a referendum? Because a producer a poll.
Do you think it is important for us to have a referendum now or not?
Yeah.
Do you want that referendum or not? Because I read some of the comments.
Whether you want it or not, it's happening.
It is true. We don't want a referendum because William Ruto will play around with the
term
limits.
So how do you remove Ruto from power?
What we are saying, Brian, is very simple.
Because his term is already illegal. Let's say such. How do you remove him from power? He resigns?
How we remove him from power is through an election, Brian. That's all they're saying.
When?
That is the discussion. And that's why I was saying that because it cannot happen next year, August.
Yes.
IEBC needs to go back to the courts and say, you've given us next week. It is not possible. However,
the court has no power to direct an election.
The court has given a directive.
They have no power.
The court has given the directive that it needs to have happened true to it within the 5th year, which is next week.
They were just giving an interpretation. They're not orders.
Now, they need to go to the courts and say, as per the interpretation you gave, we need to be doing the elections next week.
Okay, let's
However,
receive this call.
it is not possible.
All right.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Trisha. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, Trisha. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you. Who is this, please, and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Baba Ilyas. I wanted to say that, first of all, good evening. So what I wanted to say is that it's good Odhiambo, he started by saying that he wants to address this issue as a commoner.
Yes.
And I can see a lot of feelings in him, especially on Uhuru. For me, I also don't like Uhuru, but I think we don't have to bring our hatred to discuss the national issue. Because now it's like Odhiambo is saying that it is now Ruto who has bring up the issue on the election date.
I didn't say that.
And I can see.
I didn't say that. That is something we put in 2021.
Yeah, we have a lot of legalities. We have legalities in this government. First of all, the boundary issue. Why was this shelved until after election? The constitution of the cabinet, which is supposed to have a two-third, it doesn't have a two-third. It is based. In fact, the president is supposed to dissolve the cabinet, but they are not talking about that one. When it comes to term limit, that's why now we should have a referendum so that they can extend the term limit. Can you see the mind behind it? And for me, I can see, in fact, this one is not targeted for this election. This one is targeted for the next election. In case, by any means Ruto break through, then they will do it by the end of his term to extend his limit. So he will use this same question. It will be extended, and then he will use the same question to extend his limit in 2032. Take this from the back. Take this to the back. Because tell me why this question is supposed to be asked by IEBC. Odhiambo here is telling us it is Uhuru who is supposed to, who is mandated to look over our election.
Yes.
It is IEBC. So in the first place, we should blame Chebukati, because he was the one who was supposed to announce the election date and then let's see who will oppose. But the IBC didn't do that because they don't have the eye.
Okay.
They are answering to someone.
Okay.
Even on this, but on everything, starting from the boundary up to the election. So why do we have all this commission?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Asante.
Trisha, he's misunderstood a lot of what Odhiambo says. But I'm not defending Odhiambo because that is what happens when you blindly support William Ruto. But he has misunderstood and misquoted a lot of what was said. However, we gave a challenge, and I'd like Odhiambo, I know you are on the comment section. I would like us to read together. Referendum is another illegal year for the presidency. We don't. Referendum ni no. Then someone of course asked about the referendum question. We have two people who are encouraging the referendum. So far we are at 4:2. We have someone also saying Kenyans cannot agree to have a referendum before elections with the banana parliament we currently have, as well as the high political temperatures. We are at 5. Need I go on?
Go on, because the question then that becomes is, okay, so one, it is logistically impossible to prepare an election within even the next 60 days, because even that is an illegality in itself.
Yes.
Because if we are to go by the court's judgment, we must have an election by next week on Tuesday. Anything that happens after next week on Tuesday is illegal.
You are being sinister.
No, I'm not being sinister. I'm going by your words. That even if we go by her urging, that let us hold an election within 60 days after Tuesday next week.
Yes. It is still
illegal.
Yeah.
And because this is power. This is not Sunday school. Here, people are having bullets, guns, and people are having power to go to the street. People are having everything. People are having their lives on the line here. People will not agree. So the only way to agree legally, is for us to agree to disagree. And how do we do that?
Yes.
Let's go to a referendum.
Okay,
Don't be afraid.
let's
Don't
listen
be
to
shy.
this. Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, who's this and where are you calling us from?
This is Sylvester calling from Nairobi, Kenya.
Yes.
And I would like to just opine and give my views on the discussion. So the first thing I want to say is that your computation, even the way you are counting, is right. The only difference is that you are counting from the time President was sworn in.
That feedback.
We can't
Instead of counting from the day the President was elected. Yeah? You're supposed to count from the day the President was elected. So, in the 5th year means before the 5th year has ended. And that 5th year is the year of 2026. If you go, so the court is right. The practicability of the ruling is not in our challenge. So even if you do the way counting you are counting, you are right, only that you are counting from the date of swearing in instead of counting from the day of the election.
Okay.
So count from the day of the election, the second Tuesday of August in the 5th year. Yeah? It means before the 5th year has ended. So in the 5th year.
Okay.
Yes, so if you do that, you'll see that it's right. Practicality of it, of course, the election cannot be run again in 2 days. I think what the court will interpret is within what executive power the cabinet has, would have become having that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So thank you.
Umejikatama sana. Kipi kinachokusumbua akili?
She's worried about the referendum
The
thing.
reality is dawning on you.
No.
The Odhiambo is right.
The reality is not dawning on me that you
Yeah.
are right, because that is not a reality.
It is a reality.
What is dawning on me is that we have locked our mind to just one possible solution.
Which is?
Okay.
Which is your referendum. That is the
Let's-
only possible.
Let's pick the final
one.
caller. Hello, Brian. We can't hear you well.
Yes, I'm Brian.
Yes. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Gai. Gai.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm supporting Brian. My Brian, naona Brian mwingine hapa.
Yes.
Yeah.
The referendum is a way to go. That's the only thing we can do. Yep. That's the only thing out there.
Okay.
Yep.
Asante Brian.
You know, Brian in his...
I think there's somebody else calling. Hello. Yes. I think we lost him. Let's just wind up, please.
You know, Brian in his true fashion of being a politician, after I have shown him that in the comment section they're saying referendum is no, now he has mobilized people to call.
No! Come on.
You think so?
I cannot do that. I don't know these guys.
But
yes.
I still think let's not rush to a referendum. Let's look at other possible ways of sorting this out. I've said IBC can hold this election within, they can ask for an extension of 60 days. We can start to slowly correct this irregularity without running back to do a whole referendum. Because we know what a referendum means in this country, and we know what it means to common wananchi. We know what it means.
What does it mean? I don't know.
Actually, it would just be better if, as we do that, we correct many other things, because I feel like there's a lot in the Constitution
let's do a
that
referendum.
also needs to be corrected.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not supporting you, but I'm saying if we have to do, let's just kill many birds with just one stone. Yes.
Thank you so much for accepting the offer for referendum. It's beautiful. We are going to do it in 2027 August. We are going to have, instead of an election, we are having a referendum.
Buthia, you are so quiet. What's happening?
You see, nothing much to say.
Just give your submission as you wind up.
When they come up with the referendum, we are going to respond on the same. As at the moment, focus.
Okay.
We are focused on
the focus in 2027.
We will wait for a popular initiative from DCP.
We cannot,
if they don't do it,
we cannot.
No, but Brian, you can do it as well.
We cannot allow them to take us back to where we are coming from. We are very much focused.
The government.
We are coming to the end of the
which
year.
presumptively I'm representing. Presumptively, I don't work for them, but for the purposes of the
or
discussion.
Ruth here can do that.
Yes. For the purpose of discussion.
No, because I don't support the referendum.
Just to sweeten the conversation, the government should not dare introduce this referendum question. It must come from the people or from Parliament.
Okay. It begs the question. Senator Sigei has proposed it. He is a senator that was elected on the ruling party. Doesn't that then show that it is being pushed?
And the ruling party has told him severally, stop being foolish. Stop presenting that thing.
It's still in Senate,
and that's what I'm saying. Now you have a chance. You're popular. See, the public mkonayo, si mkona kura.
Because we don't want the referendum, we are not going to be the ones to propose and begin that
conversation. No, propose it. Don't be shy. You have the people.
Why would we propose something we don't want?
Why don't you want it? It's the only keyword. You want constitutionalism, but again, you don't want.
You see, William Ruto cannot introduce the referendum.
Bring it on.
He can't. He cannot.
He can
the
lose.
Constitution of Kenya.
205.
The guy who went against the referendum.
205 a president. 205 a president lost.
Nobody is going to listen to him.
205 a president lost a referendum question, and ODM was born.
He's working under duress with this constitution.
Don't be shy. You guys, be bold.
So thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. And come on.
Thank you, Ruth, for coming. Thank you, Ruth, for coming. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Buthia. Thank you to the people of the internet. Of course, some of them I see are happy, others are not happy, but thank you so much for joining this conversation. So until next time, my name is Trisha Wayua. Goodbye for now.
All right, people of the internet, I hope that you're enjoying this episode very much. And I just had a break to tell you about my new book. You know, everybody says that there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their town, in their city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call brothers, but there are no jobs. Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world, and there is no one to do them except you. I work for Americans myself. I work for Europeans. I work for the Chinese. I work for the Australians. I work for the Canadians. And so, because I have done so much for myself, I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a digital book called Goldmine 18 Hustles for Africans. And then in 2025, AI came. People say AI is taking away our jobs. And for me, I'm going to say false. There are actually AI jobs. Jobs are not being taken by AI, but there are new jobs online that are there because of AI. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. And for now, in my book, in my new book, we have 25 online and offline jobs that you can leverage on if you do not have a job. So in this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I've made and lessons I've learned over the 15 years that I have worked online. So what can you do online? You can become an executive assistant for busy folks in Europe, America, Canada, and get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. Okay? You can build a lot of things. Build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce shop without capital, be an affiliate marketer, or you can also become actually an English tutor and tens of AI jobs. If you have a job, that is fine. But I also know that you can buy this book for that brother, for that sister, for that mother, for that cousin, for that husband who is watching Netflix all day at home. Buy it for your friend who is always asking for cash. You know that friend. Now, all the information is on the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or go to my website, which is odworjegero.co.ke.